Hello, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the intro cinematic. I worked very hard on it, probably much harder than needed to be worked, but I'm just learning video editing, so not bad for a first foray, I'd say.
It was pretty rad.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I just saw that my character's webcam box and remembered my character's name is Corky.
You're just remembering that now?
No, I remembered. I just had to pull it forward.
All right. So before we begin in proper, I kind of just wanted to give a brief overview of the game for the viewers. So it's different than other systems that we've used in the past, but it's not, I don't think, an unfamiliar system to most TTRPG players. It's called a dice chucker or dice pool system. One of those really cool games that you only need a bunch of these bad boys to play, D6s. It doesn't use any other kind of dice, so which I think is kind of genius on Free League's part, because that's at least somewhat of a hurdle to starting like D&D, is you need all the different types of dice, and these days it's easier, you can just order them on Amazon, but back in the day you had to go to like a fucking hobby shop or maybe a bookstore you'd find them. But for a while there it was pretty hard to find dice. But how many D6s you think are in the average American home? Say probably 20 at least, between all the different board games alone, right? So
Yeah.
pretty genius on their part, I think, making a system like that. So basically, you roll a bunch of dice, and you hope that some of them are sixes, and you hope that none of them are ones. And that's basically kind of how success or failure is determined. Or in this case, there's also a stress and panic system, which will kind of show how that works as we get to it. But it's really neat. I think I'm really going to enjoy running this game. But as I mentioned before, or in my tweet rather, this is going to be a homebrew alien RPG game written by Free League Publishing. Where the book gives kind of like a few different routes you can go down, or genres, if you will. So we're going to be doing a space truckin' style of campaign. So all of the players are basically the people that make space travel and colonies and everything that happens in outer space possible by being the ones that move things from point A to point B. Sometimes it's a bunch of mineral ore, as is shown in the first film. The ship is actually towing like a massive auto refinery, I believe, that's like processing this ore as they're traveling through space. However, the ship that our players have is basically the same model as the Nostromo, but over what is it, like 120 years, I think, that we are in the timeline. So it's like comparing like an older Mustang to like a brand new Mustang. Like there's going to be a lot of new like creature comfort kind of improvements and general design improvements, but it's not really that different. A Mustang's still a Mustang, right? Ooh, sorry. So, I wanted to give the players the option. Do you guys have any specific questions or anything that you can think of that I didn't already cover?
Let's see. Let me think. Any questions or anything and things you didn't cover?
I don't think I'm gonna. Go ahead, Joey.
I was gonna say, what is the interior paint color of the cabin where my character sleeps?
I would say you've been on the ship long enough that you've all been able to decorate your respective domiciles in any manner you see fit.
Okay, I want to let you choose the paint color though. What kind of color does Corky strike you as?
Charcoal
Orange.
gray.
Gray?
Taupe.
Yellow.
I like taupe.
All of
I'm
those,
going with-
all of the
Actually-
colors just mentioned, but mixed together.
Uh,
So
no,
I
it's
think he's
no,
like
it's-
road
you got-
cone
no.
orange.
No,
So
Road
you
cone
go down
orange.
to Sherwin-Williams and get back
No.
to me.
Here's what it's going to be.
High
It's gonna be-
visibility.
It's going to be taupe and yellow, but in like a horizontal stripe pattern.
Disgusting. I love it.
Here you go. Okay.
I feel like
That's
you'd
a-
wear a high visibility vest all the time.
That's the only question I had, though. So
All right. So again, I just want to reiterate that this is a horror game. I fully expect that some of you will die. Well, your characters will die. Sorry. Maybe that was a little too ominous. I should clarify. Your characters.
you mean I'm not risking my life playing this game?
Yeah, if you die in the game, you die.
I want a
in real life.
refund.
oh no, is that true, Libras?
If you die, I'll
No.
come to your house and kill you.
In a video game.
Oh God, he'll do it too. No. He's from Texas. He'll do it.
You'll never see him coming either because he's in camo.
So, I did put it on the overlay, but we'll go through one by one, and you guys can just introduce your characters. I figured you guys could introduce yourselves, because I'll be uploading this to YouTube, so maybe some new people that aren't familiar with our antics on Twitch. But I'll start off. My name is Thauglor. I've been running Know Your Roll games for 1,000,000 years at this point on Twitch. I don't know exactly how long, but long enough. Mostly D20 based games, D&D primarily, but I've done a few homebrew types of games here and there as well, zombie games and things like that. So this is my first time playing running a game of this style, so I hope I do very well. I am a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie, a little anxious, just because like it's a new system, a lot of moving parts. I'm throwing a lot of video clues and things like that in the mix, so just from like a technical standpoint, it's a little more complicated than what I usually do, but I'm confident. A little anxious, but confident. And I stream usually once or twice a week on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/thethauglor, which will be listed in the links below. And yeah, that pretty much covers it for me. I will be the game mother, which is the DM, GM, ST, whatever you want to call it, of this particular style of game. Because if you've ever seen the movies, then obviously we'll say nebulous concept of motherhood plays a very big part in the films. So it makes sense that they would take that moniker. So I'll be running the game, and now for the list of victims, I suppose. We'll start. We'll just go in order. So Joey, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then just your character's name. And what do you do on the ship? Your job.
I'm the pilot of the ship. Pilot, and we'll say comic relief are my primary goals. My character's name is Corky Keeman of the Keemans. He's a quite awesome looking fellow. Let me remember what things I claimed he looked like. Oh, yeah. So he's a 64-year-old man, loves hip-hop and dancing, and my hair is like a late years George Carlin. But I've seen some shit. And I'm the pilot, and I'm Corky Keeman.
And tell us a bit about Joey.
Oh, Joey. I'm Joey.
Yeah.
I like computers and stuff. I've built Tripp's computer. I've built Ammo's computer. I built Thog's computer.
Hell yeah. Thing's awesome.
Yeah, so that's me. I like tech and stuff, and I've been doing streams, and I've been participating in streams on Thog's channel for many, many years. My first interaction ever with this group of people was me coming in as an asshole and killing off Tripp's longtime character. just like right off the bat. It was a bit of a jerk. I'm glad they kept me around.
I think it all
That's
worked out for the best.
Yep.
Hey, if that never happened, we never would have gotten Nyloth, so
True.
I think it worked out great for everybody.
You guys must have thought I was such a jerk, though.
All right, Libris, we'll do you next.
Hello, I'm Xlibris85. I haven't been around as long as some of these people, but I've been around for a few years. I played D&D for a long time, but really I consider myself a Warhammer man. Been playing that for decades. And as a matter of fact, I have a Warhammer 40k game, Dark Heresy specifically, that I just ended up running last couple months on this channel as a guest DM, and I also have a Call of Cthulhu game that is currently ongoing that we'll probably pick up again sometime in the spring or summer. But for this game, Alien RPG Book of the Dead, I am playing Butch Bradshaw, the crew's Roughneck, which means he's basically the laborer and handyman. He is from a small farm on Iowa, and due to the sort of zero opportunities in a devastated world, got with the company as soon as he was old enough, got himself on a ship, and that's where he stayed.
Very nice. And now, one of our veterans of the channel, one of the original players, cast members, Ammo.
Yee! The only person who has been here longer than me is Tripp by a few sessions. And if my calculations are correct, this is year 10 of D&D as Know Your Roll on this channel, because if I'm recalling correctly, when I joined, it was like towards the end of 2014. So we have entered year 10. So it's been a long time.
Well, I don't know if join's the right word. You're founding member. Couldn't have done it without you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, like, there were a few sessions before I joined, but...
You were a
was like
founding member.
Yeah.
Close enough. Close
I
enough.
joined pretty early on.
I think by session 3 you were in, so it counts.
Yeah. As far as my character, I am Alice Evans. I am a scientist on this ship, in microbiology and botany. I am interested in off-world flora and fauna, and that's part of the reason why I ended up on this ship. As for Ammo, I am one half of the murder duo. Tripp is the other half. We tend to murder things quite a bit. We get up to some hijinks. Outside of that, I like video games a lot. I've played D&D for a long time, because the very first time I ever played, I think I was like 15, which is now 16 plus years ago. And I also like to read a lot. Very thick books, too. This is the current one I'm reading. Very good books.
I checked the date. November 17th, 2014.
Yee! So yeah, this is year 10.
Nice. Time just flies when you're chucking dice.
But yeah, that's it. That's all
Awesome.
I got.
Well, we'll keep it going around the table and go over to your stranger half, my good buddy Tripp, another founding member of Know Your Roll.
Hello. I've been here forever. I remember what it was like before D&D happened here. It's the before times. I'm Trippenstein. I sometimes stream, make things very inconsistently now. I play games.
You've done some incredible animations in the past.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe if I find the time, I will be able to make something funny from this one, if I feel inspired.
Well, it also means we got to be funny too, which... Yeah.
Oh, I have
that's
no
gonna happen.
doubts.
I don't know. I've never been funny before. Maybe I'll take a whack at it.
But I'm playing
Turning over a new leaf.
Yep.
Dr. Nile. He's the ship medic.
So the murder twins are playing the scientist and the medic respectively.
What could go wrong?
See, they go for positions of power. They just know it.
I don't like that this was all because some strange woman in a zombie game was running at me yelling, and I pushed her away from me and it got her killed. It's really her fault. Stupid NPC.
Now we have a reputation, and we must uphold that reputation.
I swear to God, though, if you murder me, I'm going to kill you.
You already have.
Oh, you're right. Just once, though.
Sad Joey face.
Just once, though, right?
I don't know at this point.
Could have been more. It's likely been more.
All right, and now for one of the newer members of the cast, but easily been here a very long time as a member of chat and a viewer, Mr. Frobot.
I'm Mr. Frobot. I am the newest guy, actually. I've been here I've been playing on your Wednesday game, Weeping Scars of War, for 11 months now.
Yeah, it's been about a year.
It'll be a year the week before my birthday, so that's how I remember that. Not much to say about me. I'm a big-time lurker, all around in a bunch of chats on Twitch. Like everybody else, been playing D&D probably since 2nd edition, AD&D, back in way long ago.
In ye olden times.
Yeah, back before the internets and cell phones, if there was a time. Probably the oldest, but the newest.
Were vehicles still like drawn by horses?
Yeah, you had to wind them up.
Sweet.
Other than that, I will be playing the captain on board, Eric Reynolds. He used to be a Colonial Marine pilot, but he left that life and became a pilot on a normal ship, and then just kind of worked his way up to captain. Now he's in charge of all these lunatics. And I have a dog, Eugene, which will be a lot of fun to interact with.
So cute, you little terrier. He's so
Jack
cute.
Russell.
Jack Russell. Oh, I love him.
I don't know if I'm creeped out about that or not.
Wait.
Keep Corky away from the dog.
No.
Let me write that down.
No, please don't. I'll take it back. I don't love him.
But
Don't pet my dog.
Yeah, but other than that, I guess we'll figure the rest out as we go.
Right on. And rounding out the roster, GamerJules.
Hi, I'm GamerJules. I've streamed for years over at Twitch, same username there at YouTube. I've played D&D since the late 90s because I'm old. But I love the game. The character I'm playing is Aaron Noble, your local resident Weyland Yutani corporate agent. Making worlds. Just, you love her. She's best friends with Butch, right?
Murder twins activate.
She's been on the ship as long as they have, but it's a little frosty, obviously. No one likes a corporate agent on their ship. No matter.
You get along well enough with them, but at the end of the day, you are a company man, per the term.
You're a commissar.
You're the bearer of bad news. You know, whenever they're getting fucked by the company, it's coming through your mouth, so...
Yep. Yeah. Otherwise, Aaron Noble hasn't been up front, but she's been with the company for a while. She puts in a day's work like everyone else. She hasn't shirked her duties or tried to put it off on anyone. But she's quiet.
Well, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I guess we'll have to find out.
Less crew getting fucked. Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe she's going to bat.
Is there faster than light information, like, in this? Or is it like, we're like 100 light years out. We can't call anyone.
You know, that's a great question. I'm trying to think of examples from the films. Because I do believe there is some kind of delay that happens in the films whenever there's kind of like communications at distance. So it probably depends largely on who it is you're trying to communicate with and where they are and the general technology that you have to work with where it is that you are. I don't think it's FTL, but it's probably close to it.
Reminded me of like Ender's Game and trying to speak by Ansible.
Yeah, no, that's actually a very good question. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Yeah, I like the Warhammer 40k solution. They just use psychic people to talk to each other.
Right.
That's instant.
All right, so just to give a bit of brief backstory. So this group of individuals has been working together for a crew for several years at this point. And the situation is this. They're essentially contracted workers for Weyland Yutani, with exception of the company agent, who is a direct employee of the company. But part of that contract is it's kind of a work/rent-to-own spaceship kind of situation. So essentially, the company takes older spaceships that are, headed for the scrapyard, refurbishes them, and then loans them out to willing crews who are going to take on jobs for the company. They can also kind of pick up independent jobs here and there, but their primary focus is moving things around for the company. So each job they do for the company reduces their debt somewhat, and once they've got it all paid off, they can choose then to stay with the company, sign on as them, or just say, you know what, we're going to start our own independent enterprise, we're going to start our own company, and, good luck to you. Best not burn that bridge, though. Weyland Yutani has tentacles everywhere, right? Like, they're kind of the corporation in the galaxy. There are other corporations that are, like, sort of contemporaries of theirs to varying degrees, but nobody's got the reach or the influence, at least among, like, the Three World Empire and the United Americas as Weyland Yutani. Like, they are the company. Like, if somebody says the company, that's who they're talking about. But there's also Siegson, which they're kind of like the Kmart to the Walmart of Weyland Yutani. They make a lot of cheaper stuff. It's just as good, but obviously not as fancy as the stuff Weyland Yutani puts out. Maybe a little bit more utilitarian and, knockoff kind of goods. But, you would still see quite a few Siegson products in your day-to-day lives. There's probably even Siegson materials on board this ship. It just, if it makes sense to use it, why not use it? So, let me just refer to my notes so I don't mix up planet names, because it's very easy to do in this. All right. So, your most recent job was bringing goods from a planet called Lina 349 to a planet called LV 832. And basically, this mission was a great payday opportunity for your crew. Kinda too good to pass up, and generally pretty simple and easy, but not without its headaches. Essentially what you're doing is transporting fine lumber, as well as some other luxury goods, some rare minerals and metals, to what's essentially going to become a corporate retreat, like a hunting lodge on a somewhat lush and paradise-like planet. You know, you're the little guys. You're doing all the work that makes life fun for the big guys, right? But it was a good chunk off of your debt, and you know, you're dealing with lumber, luxury goods. It's all inanimate materials. You know, you've been called upon to move cattle before. Like, what a fucking headache that is. And, you know, anytime you have to move colonists around, people have problems. Lumber just sits there, right? But this lumber comes from a tree that's covered in fucking needle-sharp thorns. So that would be just a pain in everybody's ass, regardless of how close to actually moving the goods you are. So, Libris, the Roughneck, like, you're still pulling fucking thorns out of you by the time you go into cryo sleep. What a nightmare. Thorns are puncturing friggin' hydraulic hoses and getting caught in gears. For you, probably more than anybody else on the ship, this job was a just pain in the ass. But again, you're used to that. And really isn't any worse than, like, a bunch of whiny colonists, or, you know, you've been called upon to host corporate mercenaries before. What a bunch of fucking dicks those guys are. So, you know, it is what it is, and at the end of the day, it's a payday. So, very routinely throughout your travels, you do not have a synthetic on board. And so, Buck Bradshaw, your resident Roughneck, once a week, he gets called out of cryo sleep to do general maintenance things on board the ship, or in cases of emergencies, something unexpected happens, a neutrino burst knocks things out, some random space debris collides with the ship. He's the guy that's going to get pulled out of cryo sleep by your resident AI mother to take care of that kind of stuff. And usually by himself. Occasionally, he can request that mother will pull one of you out of cryo sleep as well to assist with whatever task that may be. I'm assuming it'll likely be whoever else would be skilled in heavy machinery, or at least have like a decent enough strength to kind of help out with that. Make sense?
Chris.
All right. Mm-hmm. So, with that said, I have a brief video to play, a little splash screen, if you will, and we will begin. Any questions?
None.
Outstanding. All right. All right. So, little bit of narration before we begin. You're currently all in cryo sleep. So we, as the viewers, the outside perspective, the third party, would see your ship traveling at good speed through space, transporting your luxury goods as you snooze away the days, waiting for the other end of this job. As we zoom in on the cockpit, clicking and humming noises begin, and CRT monitors begin to flash to light, turning on, running subroutines. These various CRT monitors flash with a bunch of numbers and code as different mechanical systems click and whir and begin moving into place. Priority message received. Engaging Protocol 641. And from there, we move through the darkened corridors of the ship as you see the life support systems and heating once again begin to kick on. As you're all in cryo sleep, one of the very first things that Mother is going to do before any of you wake up is make sure that the ship itself is hospitable to humans. So, all the things that aren't necessary while you're in your cryopods, such as the heat and things like that, are going to be kept way down to basically just above, operating temperature. And as we make our way through the ship and different lights begin flickering on as Mother wakes up the ship, we move to the cryo bay, which is actually what the scene is depicted on the Roll20 map.
Those actually look pretty comfy.
Yeah, well, they are designed for comfort. You do spend most of your lives in them, to be fair.
I could rock off a nap in one of those.
Because of the vast distances that you travel, much of your life is spent in cryo sleep. Your waking days are kind of very few and far between. To you, they would seem more or less seamless, right? But you're, at this point, very well accustomed to the fact that you're essentially losing weeks or months or even years at a time sometimes on these very long hauls. So, it's something I had mentioned to the players previously, but that's something that would kind of draw you even closer together as a group of individuals, because despite whatever relationships you have, these are the people that you see most often. Everybody else who may be back home on Earth or living on a colony somewhere, they're living their day to day to day to day. You're sleeping for months or years at a time. So, nice. you'd kind of naturally almost form your own sort of family unit, if that makes sense. But one of the pods clicks and whirs, and Aaron, corporate agent, you begin to awaken, coming out of cryo sleep. And as you kind of sit yourself up and look to the sides, you notice that the rest of the pods are closed. You have a brief moment of terror that something has gone wrong, that your crew has expired, but then you kind of squint and clear your eyes, and you can see upon the surface of these domed lids, there's a steady readout of lights, and there's no flashing alarms or other notifications that denote any kind of emergency. The rest of your crew is safe, still asleep. But this is very unusual. Now, as part of your corporate training, you would know that sometimes the company's going to want to communicate with you directly, and that might not need to be something to wake up the entire crew for. Despite the fact that it's never happened before, you kind of get that idea in your head, and you look over at the intercom box and see that there is a red diode, candy red light just kind of flashing in bursts of threes periodically. You know that there's some kind of important message from the company for you, and you gotta, it's not something you gotta run out of bed for, but you definitely want to get to Mother's room, the little static-free pod where the Mother mainframe is hosted for your message.
Yeah, I wouldn't take much time at all. Enough to get, if it's warm enough to go through the ship with just some shoes on my feet, then I'll do that. If not, I'll have to jump in a spacer suit or something real quick, a jumpsuit.
I would say you'd probably keep robes or some, bathrobes at least, something like that nearby, just as something quick to put on while you go to your room and put all your stuff on.
Okay, yeah, then I will do that and make my way over.
Meanwhile, Joey goes and gets one of his 12 robes.
Oh, how did I know that was coming?
Oh,
A velvet robe, it would appear.
Listen, say what you will about Joey. The man's got taste and comfort. You know what I mean? He knows some
does.
comfy clothes.
Mine is blue, and it's super soft like that one.
Gotta love a good robe, man.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
All right, so you make your way through, and as you make your way through the bridge, the room that you have to go to branches off of the bridge, and you and the captain are the only ones who are generally allowed in there. Occasionally, the Roughneck will go in there to do general maintenance kind of stuff, but even that's very few and far between. But you walk through, and you can see that there is a prompt awaiting for your corporate code. It's a personalized code that you're basically typing in to prove that you are who you are, and an encryption key sort of thing to decrypt the message.
Okie dokie. Yeah. Should go ahead and input it and wait for it to load.
There's like that old school hard drive like bonk click, bonk 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 click as it processes the information, and then go ahead and open up your video handout that I sent to you earlier.
Okay. Her face is basically matching mine right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. So the rest of us, the viewer, the person in the theater seats just sees Erin Noble's face illuminated by the screen as her eyes kind of scan from left to right, reading this very important message from Weyland Yutani corporate offices.
Oh shit. Comes right over her mouth. With the protocol.
You are familiar with the protocol. Again, it's not something that you've ever thought you would have to deal with, but it was kind of drilled into you. So this is essentially the company saying, you're going to do this. This is absolutely going to happen, or we are going to make your life and your crew's lives miserable. They are essentially calling it in. They are seizing control, essentially, and you are kind of contractually bound to comply.
Is that signature familiar?
It is. That is your direct superior, Regina Price. And so, even just seeing her name, you know something big is going on here. Because it's not unusual that she'll send you messages, but in this particular protocol, this specific way, and using that kind of language, like, whatever it is that they need you for is critical to the company.
Okay. Do we still have the load of crap on board?
Still have the load of crap on board.
Huh. All right. How much would thinking numbers, how much would that cover the forgiveness?
Oh, if you go to the character sheet for the ship, which you should all have access to, the remaining lease cost is listed on the left-hand side of the sheet. So that's what remains.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not like I have a choice, so. Shit, fuck, shit, god damn it. muttering, stomping out of the room after she does, normal assigned protocol, blah, blah, blah.
You basically
Confirmation
send,
taking it.
yeah, you send a confirmation message back saying that you intend to comply and await further instruction. And no sooner do you send that message, well, maybe 15, 20 seconds passes, you're leaving the static-free room full of the flashing Christmas lights that compose the mother mainframe. And as you're making your way back through the bridge to head back to the cryo bay, your suspicions are confirmed in that Mother is awakening everybody else. You make your way back just in time to see the rest of the pods begin to open in unison. And the red flashing diode is replaced by a steady strobing yellowish orange diode light. Looks like a Sucrets, if you remember those. Do they still make those?
Yeah. I
What's a
think so.
sucret?
It's
The
like a
lozenge.
cough drop that numbs your whole fucking skull.
Really did.
I'm pretty sure it's made out of methamphetamine.
Yeah, it's
At least back in the 90s. They were.
it's something wild. I never liked them because I didn't like that numb sensation.
Dichlorine hydrochloride.
The same stuff in the
Dichlorine
sprays.
hydrochloride.
Yeah.
That's oral anesthetic. That's what they marketed it as.
It's something, all right.
So we're all waking up.
So you're all waking up. And with the
Wipe the
exception of Miss Noble, all expecting to be at your stated destination of I always mix up the numbers because it's always 8 LV and then numbers. LV 832.
LV something or other.
Yeah.
I wipe the tears away from my eyes from the cryo sleep.
Oh, finally everybody gets woken up this time.
Funny that they don't. Funny that they didn't wake up the pilot first. Where's oh, I forgot your name. Sorry, Jules. What?
Erin,
Where's Erin?
she's in her room.
Oh, never mind.
So you would all notice that your corporate agent, not in her pod, you look over, her robe is missing. So she woke up first? The fuck?
This ain't good.
Yeah. Why? You'd think they'd wake up the pilot first, or maybe the captain, or hell, even Bradshaw.
Yeah. Bradshaw's going to ignore that.
Little Eugene, the Jack Russell Terrier, hops down out of the pod that he shares with the captain.
Oh, he's so cute.
And does his usual routine of scurrying off to the bathroom. As a very intelligent Jack Russell Terrier, he is potty trained, so he's off to use the lavatory before anybody else.
Yeah, I'd probably
That's a really good idea, and I follow the dog.
As usual, dogs are always smarter than us.
Mhm.
I follow.
So I'm gonna look over and see the strobe.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean anything to me?
It does, in fact. The company has an urgent message for you, the captain.
All right, I'm gonna throw on my my robe and my shoes and start going to the mother room.
All right. And on your way through the bridge, you kind of just take a cursory glance over the various CRT monitors and readouts, and you note that you're really only about, let's see, I do have the map here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move you guys to another map briefly,
Ooh.
because this is a really cool map. This is the whole galaxy map. So the yellow line there would have been your route. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. So
What
as
was our
you're as you're kind of like looking in like your galactic positioning and kind of trying to figure out not just like why you've been woken up, obviously that's important, but the first thing you're going to do is figure out like, okay, where the hell are we? And you are nowhere close to your stated destination. You're still on course, but let's see
I
if
love
I can
How
do
far
some.
did we actually go?
Yeah, I love the ruler gives us parsecs. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for that.
Well, I appreciate that you appreciate it because getting the map lined up with that was very, very difficult.
Yeah,
But
as someone who's done that before, not with parsecs, but just like with miles, like it is
Yeah.
not. It sucks.
Roll20 doesn't take it easy on you. I'll give him that. All right, so you have only been in cryo sleep for about 15 days,
Ouch.
which would place you right about here.
What, by the outpost or by Fiorini? Fiorina.
Close to Fiorina.
Okay.
You know, still many light years away. This is relative distance, right? Because we're dealing with parsecs, but so you've literally just started your journey, basically, and they're waking you back up. The fuck?
That's
He's
alarming.
definitely going to give out an annoyed sigh, knowing that
What's
this
with
is
the-
not going to be good.
What's with the annoyed sigh, Captain?
Look where we are.
That can't be right.
It is, and then he's just going to go in the room.
Yeah, I'll go to my pilot's quarters. I'll grab my bobblehead first because that's important.
Okay. You pick up your Joey bobblehead, and as you do, the little battery-powered voice inside activates and says, "Hello, my name is Ezekiel."
Very cool. I bobble it a few times.
Little throwback.
Yep. And yeah, I'll take it to the pilot's chair and get everything up and just I'll get into I'll assume the position.
All right. At this point, there's really not much for you to do. Mother's handling, like, she's getting all the systems running and, warming up the oven for you so you guys can eat and things like that. Some nice bug juice for you. Just basically a protein shake made out of, you guessed it, primarily bugs.
Yum.
It's protein.
Yep. Got everything a growing hoss needs. So, Captain makes his way into the mother chamber, inputs his own unique code, and then receives the following message. I'll give you guys a second to pull up the stream because I'm going to play this one for everybody. In 3, 2, here you go. All right. Now, let me just go ahead and do this real quick. I am going to put that into a handout in Roll20 so you guys can reread it if you need to.
Jettison the materials. Oh yeah.
But she's gonna be so mad.
Fucking thorns everywhere.
You know what? Just highlight the text. You can't read it.
Yeah.
All
Is
right.
it pasted as black text? I'll see if I can fix that.
So the captain's just going to leave the room, not say anything, and just go right to his quarters and get dressed. And he's going to make a ship-wide message and say, "Everybody meet in the galley in 15 minutes."
All right. Butch has time for a quick shower, so he hops in.
Captain's doing the same.
Yeah.
Bud.
Yep, Corky would do the same.
Erin's done with her shower and back in her quarters, and you just see the light on in there.
I'll wave as I pass, like, hello.
I don't even look that direction. Fill up Eugene's water bowl and then jump in the shower.
Oh, mother, where are you? There she is. Okay.
Hello, Mom.
By the way, I pulled out my old dice tray and a bunch of D6s, so I'm going to be rolling secret stuff.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
I got my dice over on my bookshelf over there.
I have mine on mine, too.
Oh, where are
Well,
my dice?
yours will keep in Roll20 so that you can push rolls and stuff. But this is mostly stuff that nobody needs to worry about except me anyway.
It's a nice
Got
little
my
dice
fancy dice chest that I made that has a secret inside.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Is it a mimic?
Scarlett has something like that. She got it at PAX. It looks like a gremlin.
It is, in fact.
That's adorable.
And I made it.
Go get her, Bubba. The cat's yelling at me to feed him. Scarlett's out there, like, with the bowl in her hand. He's like, no, I
Well,
want you to
he
do
never
it.
gets fed. Ever.
I know. Nobody ever gives him anything. And it's bullshit.
I had to make sure
I
I got the
forgot I have
Squirtle
these
back
in
in
here.
the Squirtle back in the background.
Oh, nice.
And then imagine if this bobbled. This is
Oh my god.
the Joey bobble.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, my wife got this for me for Christmas one year.
That's
I
beautiful.
love it.
I'm surprised it wasn't something with like a bigger head. I have little baubles about this size too. They're annoying.
I think it was supposed to be a bobblehead, like the company that she ordered it from, like the invoice, like she meant to get me a bobblehead because I've said before, like I think it'd be cool to have a bobblehead myself, but then they fucked up and just sent that.
All you got to do is get a spring and cut the head off.
No, I don't. I like it as it is. It's like one of my favorite things I own.
The bobble is in your mind.
Yeah.
I have a couple of interesting D6s. I have this one that's a big one with a tiny one inside of it.
Did you get that one at PAX? I feel like you got that one at PAX.
That one's
I might have. I don't know. I end up with dice that I don't remember how I get them. And then I have these two, which are electronic dice.
Nice. You can kind of make out the number. Yeah, when it flashes, you can make out the numbers. Otherwise, it's too bright.
Yeah, it's a little too bright for the camera.
Okay, so as you're all making your way
Don't
through,
know how I got these either.
As you're all making your way through the ship and going over various things, and yes, Frobot, to answer your question.
Gotcha.
You know, you're all kind of seeing to your own corners of the ship. So obviously, pilots going to the bridge, you're looking things over there. And Corky, as you're looking over the ship status readout on the monitor, you notice that there is a warning code coming from the cargo bay. It's familiar. No. You've seen this on the past 5 goddamn jobs.
Yep.
Essentially, there's a latch that keeps the crane in place, and probably rather several latches. One of the latches is showing that it's not secured. It is in fact secured. It's the sensor that's fucked up. But
I still have to check on it.
You
every
still
time.
have to. Well, you got to get Butch down there to do what he's got to do to get the sensor to notice it. It's
probably
been
my
an
favorite.
ongoing issue.
That's probably my favorite D6 that I own is the one from your guys' wedding.
Yeah, that's a
Oh.
fancy one.
I'm not looking forward to going to see Bradshaw to tell him this because he's just not gonna.
You just bring him up
Well,
on the
the last
intercom.
moment of happiness that Butch Bradshaw has is to show off these terrible Warhammer dice from the Ossiarch Bone Reapers, which are the most hardest to read. Fucking, which one's 1? Which one's 6?
Just
The
make
other
it
ones just have hold fingers up. Like, these are the worst dice I've ever seen in my life. So of course I had to buy them.
Yeah, they're so awful you can't pass that up.
Yeah, I think the only other one worse I've seen, it was they made like an aquamarine D6, kind of like see-through, with blue numbers. So it was impossible to read. Impossible.
Well,
You gotta call
I'll
out
go-
like CSI, have them take like impressions of the dice to read them.
I'm gonna assume that Bradshaw's kind of like close to the end of his shower. I'll just kind of knock on his door. Bradshaw, you in there?
Yeah.
It's that sensor again.
Ah.
I need you down. I need you down there to check on it. I know it sucks ass, but gotta
Yeah.
go.
All right. Let me get dressed. Shit.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
This is
All right.
why Bradshaw always stinks, because we fucking interrupt his showers. This is the problem.
He's never once completed a full shower because we just
Yeah.
keep interrupting him.
He just keeps bottles of liquor in there because that's all it's the only free time he has.
Fair.
Is the 2.5 minutes shower.
Beer in a shower.
He throws on his cargo pants, his Hawaiian shirt, throws his boots on.
Oh, cargo pants. It's appropriate.
All right. So, we'll while that's happening, we'll make our way over to the murder twins, the doctors, respectively. Also, your character would be a doctor, right? A doctor of science, right, Emma?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Philosophy.
We'll throw a.
I'm a microbiologist, thank you, and a botanist.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you need to be a doctor for that. So
More like a buttonist. Am I right?
it'll be Dr. Alice Evans.
No, I'm not a proctologist.
There, you just got your doctorate live on stream.
Wow, look at that.
Yay!
I'm going places. Well, you're not going to LV83 go fuck yourself anymore. That enough is apparent.
Would you say that ship has sailed?
Yes. Well done.
Nice.
So, just for clarification, Captain, you passed along that information from the message to the rest of the crew?
If we're not going to meet in the galley, yes. I was going to call a
Oh,
ship
okay.
meeting to let everybody know.
Understood. Gotcha.
I'll
So,
do it at the ship.
so the rest of you are kind of unawares as to like what's actually happening right now. All you know is that you've got pulled out of cryosleep. The company wants something. For all you know, it could be a rescue mission. Like you have to go pick up some refugees from some outposts that got attacked, or whatever it may be. The company needs you, to priority run some kind of shipment, most likely. But whatever it is, it's probably going to be a pain in the ass, so probably nobody's real happy about this. But all things considered, for coming out of cryosleep, you did it early as opposed to late, so your grogginess factor is pretty well diminished. Like, you all feel pretty fresh and refreshed. It doesn't take you too much to shake away the cryosleep. So, by the time you're all dressed and showered, you're relatively awake and up and at 'em. The murder twins have made their way off to the medical lab, where they're probably going to check over the progress of whatever experiments or studies that they might be running. It could be something completely electronic, like you're just kind of feeding numbers into Mother and having her crunch data for you. It could be things growing in petri dishes, things like that, behind curtains and sealed walls and things like that, obviously. But, they're kind of just going over, doing their thing. Company agent, you're going to see to whatever needs to be done as far as achieving your new goal. And basically you figure your best bet is to let everybody wake up a bit, shake off the cryo sleep, and then kind of hit them with the whatever it is that you want to pass along.
All right.
Generally speaking, per what you've been told, you can share as much as you've been told thus far with the crew without breaching any kind of contract or betraying any kind of corporate trust. There's really nothing specific in that message that the company would designate as your eyes only, at least in terms of specifics.
Sweet. Okay.
As per the mentioned protocol, however, for all intents and purposes, whatever's going to happen never happened.
With that protocol, can I explain to them what that protocol is? Do I mention it all? What would
Loosely.
my character know? Okay.
You wouldn't get it ultra into specifics on it, but you'd be able to tell them enough to provide significant motivation, I would think.
Got it.
So, if there was nothing else, Captain's calling a ship meeting. Sound good?
Sounds good. Sorry. I've had a raccoon coming around again. Got rid of all the food. It's coming up on deck, and now it's baring its teeth and hissing at me, so I need to call DNR.
Oh boy.
It's a little too
shit.
comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll wander out with the meeting call out.
All right. So everybody meets in the galley.
After I get my lucky bobblehead set up, though. Yep. Yep. I say, doctor? Other doctor? Bradshaw? Captain?
Captain's
Brad-
getting Eugene a snack.
Yeah, Bradshaw's got his tool belt on, ready to go fix the sensor again.
Aaron's getting bug juice.
Captain's just got a flight suit on because old habits die hard.
Of course, after waking up, I'm in a snacky mood, so I, grab some trail mix and we'll snack on that while I wait for the meeting to start.
The trail mix is just like 8 different kinds of bugs, freeze dried.
But they're crunchy.
Yeah, and one of them tastes like raisins.
Honey roasted.
I'll
Also,
look
I'd
around
like-
and make sure everybody's there.
I'd like to point out the only thing missing from this galley aesthetically, as far as the style goes, is wood paneling.
Yep.
Maybe some shag carpet.
I was gonna
It looks
say
like
it
a
looks like
Taco
very
Bell,
70s.
1989.
Oh,
My bedroom growing up had colors of blue and what wanted to be cream shag carpeting for 20 years.
Yep, grew up in a house with shag carpeting.
That smell. Ugh.
fucked up the emote. Whatever. I chose shag carpeting as like one of my first bedrooms at my mom's house. She's like, "Joey, what kind of carpet do you want in a room?" I was like, "I want shag carpeting." And it was dark blue
God
shag
damn.
carpeting with light blue colored walls.
You're a man of culture early.
Yeah, they let me choose, and that's what I wanted.
All right, Captain, the floor is yours.
All right. Good news and bad news. The good news is we're all awake and we're not dead. Bad news is we got a
Sudden
message from our
party.
overlords that We're to jettison all the wood we just got and proceed on a new course to POL 536201.
Captain, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
I wish I were, but contracts are contracts, and he just kind of looks over at Aaron. The overlords know best, I suppose.
Gives a shrug.
So let
I
me.
spent 3 weeks loading that shit up, pulling needle sharp 3-inch thorns out of my fucking foreskin, and now we're just gonna jettison the shit?
We're still going to get paid for it.
That's on you for having foreskin. Yeah.
We're still going to get paid for delivery. Don't worry about that.
Right side, I don't have to pull out any more needles from your foreskin.
Again, that's on you for having foreskin. I don't know.
So
We'll look at Erin and ask her if she has anything to add. Because
Well-
I'm sure he knows she knows more.
we'll pause there for a moment. I want everybody to make a wits roll, please.
Ooh, wits. I think I just click the button.
Yep. It'll ask you for a
Dice to
modifier.
add.
Nope. No dice to add.
Okay.
All right. So who succeeded? Who failed? All right. Captain, Corky.
Wow, I have no
Not the
wits compared to
doctor,
everybody
not the
else.
scientist. These roles are actually tracking pretty perfectly with your characters.
That's amazing.
And 2 successes from the company agent. So
Hi.
per what you've been told, there's a few things that you might be able to wiggle on here. The first is jettisoning the cargo. You're only about half full to your full capacity right now. There's a good chance that whatever it is that they're going to send you to pick up isn't going to fill up that other half. If it's something that's got to be moved fast, it's typically not something very big. And if it is something very big, it's probably going to come, hooked up to a tow package. You just slap it on the hitch and make your way. So you might not need to jettison the cargo. So, Captain, thinking, back to what the message actually said, it said all necessary cargo. So while you don't know how heavy it is what you're picking up, there's a good chance you don't necessarily need to. They probably just told you that to make sure that, there would be room, because very often you are working at capacity. Secondly, if you do decide to jettison the cargo, you could do so in a way where you could simply come back later and pick it up. Assuming nobody else comes along and fucking steals it out from under you, but space is a big place. You could find an asteroid or something to dump it on.
I feel
Come
like
back
the
later and
logistics on
pick it up.
someone else finding that is like insane.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like finding a needle in a haystack the size of the galaxy. So there is a little bit, it occurs to most of you that there's a bit of wiggle room there.
Yeah, look, why don't we just keep the cargo? It's only like half full. We can pick up. Why do we need to jettison the cargo? Let's keep it. I mean, if they're not expecting it back, we keep it. We sell it for ourselves. Make a little bit extra on top of this job.
We'll see what we got
yeah,
on the manifest when we get there.
Yeah, what else are we picking up? Like,
Don't know yet. We'll know when we get there.
well, maybe we don't even have to jettison it. Can we sell it on station?
Won't know till we get there.
All right.
I hate not knowing till we get there. All right. What's for first meal?
Company rations.
Nice.
Mhm.
They're like TV dinners, basically.
Ooh, love me a good TV dinner.
It's Salisbury Steak Day.
So what do we know about this place we're heading to?
As it would turn out, some of you know more than others. Specifically, your scientist, Dr. Alice. You've heard of Ares Outpost before. In terms of being a scientist working for Weyland Yutani, it's as close an allegory as you're going to get to being sent to Siberia. Like, that's where they send the fuck-ups. Like, the people who, either cause catastrophic damage or loss to the company. They're people that have, they're not quite expendable, but, it's basically like it's like an oubliette. You know what I mean? Like, that's where the company sends scientists to forget about them. Maybe they'll do something worthwhile that's, worth keeping them on payroll for. But they've screwed up. They're being punished, in a sense. It's not a good place to be sent. And you would know the following information about the planet itself. So, let me move you guys to the galaxy map again. And surprise, surprise, Ares Outpost is right on course. So, really, for the pilot, you're only making minor course correction to aim you towards Ares at this point. It'd be like the equivalent of like a 12-degree turn.
Could you ping it again?
Yep, it is right there. I know
Okay,
Ares is
yes.
kind of covered up by the line.
Got it.
Got it. So,
At least it's a simple course correction.
I put a red dot.
it is a toxic methane planet with severe methane rainstorms. The terrain varies between frozen methane wasteland and deep methane seas, which remain frozen for the bulk of the year. This is essentially what would be considered early spring on Ares Outpost, so the ice is beginning to melt, which makes it possible for Ares Outpost itself to come to the surface. The outpost itself is a submersible research station. There's various docking stations along the edges of this vast methane ocean where essentially the research station can dock with it, and there's an airlock there so goods can come in, go out, supplies, things like that. So you'll need to land, pick up whatever it is that they want you to pick up, and then they're going to tell you where to go.
Well, anything else?
That's all I got.
The mean temperature is minus 223 degrees Celsius.
Layer up.
You're going to need me to do what?
Make a course correction and get us to the outpost.
Right away, sir. I'll go take care of that. Beep boop, bop, beep boop, beep 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 boop. Course corrected.
Captain.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna tug him to the side for a second.
He'll reluctantly go with.
Yeah, I bet. I figured it'd be best coming from you.
What does the emissary of the overlords want now?
The emissary wants to tell you that yes, we have to do this job. Yes, we have to basically deny it ever happening, but they'll pay for half the ship right now if we do it.
Well, half of what remains.
Yeah, half of what remains.
You're saying they're going to pay us 12 grand for this,
12 million.
give or take.
12 million.
Oh, go.
That's a big distinction.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that I thought the last comma was a period.
Oh, gotcha.
And the news always comes better from the captain.
Or I get to be the asshole and you don't.
How is this you being the asshole? You get to tell them that it's halfway paid off with what the remainder is. So what? It's a job we have to do. We basically have to do every job anyways. We need some money.
Yes, we do. Boy, I'll be glad when this thing is paid off. All right.
That
Is
was
there
it.
anything else?
No, sir.
Can I tell if she's being super truthful or if she's holding back something?
Let's see.
My character would probably just assume that she's always holding back something.
He kind of does.
What, me? Never.
Mm-hmm.
You get the 12 million, but she chops off your foreskin.
Oh, thank God.
That could go bad.
Leave the noodles alone.
I've been doing this for free.
Yeah. I got ripped off. What the hell?
So we'll do an opposed roll there. Wits
right.
versus manipulation. So observation versus manipulation. So observation from the captain, manipulation from the agent.
Well, this is not going to go well.
You can't quite put away the feeling that you don't have all the information, but when you're dealing with the company, that's usually the case. You've grown to trust Erin as a member of the crew, so you figure if she is holding something back, it's probably just bullshit proprietary company information that you don't really give that much of a shit about to know anyway. It's worth letting go.
All right, he'll just kind of nod and wander off with Eugene to go to the bridge.
Stare at the dog. That's not natural.
Come on, Yui. And then he goes with the dog to the bridge.
Yui. Oh, that's cute.
Dog follows. So another thing I had forgot to mention before, when you pull up your character sheets, I filled out your health scores for everybody. Your health should be the same as your strength at the start.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering about that, but I didn't. I figured you did it.
Yep, strength is health.
Oh, there's a health. Yep. Okay.
Yep, it's right underneath your stress. So from there, we'll go over to our Roughneck, who's by now made your way down to the cargo crane, and you're taking a look over things. And sure enough, the crane lock is indeed engaged. You're pushing and pulling on it. It's in there tight. It's just the sensor's got to be reset. So go ahead and make a heavy machinery roll with a +1, because you'll be using your maintenance jack to access the sensor. You're muted.
Gonna type in +1 and see what happens on this. Bopper?
I think that should work. Is that correct? It rolled the right amount of die?
Should be strength plus heavy machinery. 1, 2, 3.
If you got a 5 in strength and a 3 in heavy machinery, that's correct.
No, I have a 2 in heavy machinery.
Do you have stress?
I do have 1 stress, yes.
Get rid of that.
Okay. What is this? Okay, you just... Okay, cool.
Well, try as you might. The thing's stubborn. You're just waking. God fucking damn.
Fucking little stupid bullshit thing.
Unless you want to take a point of stress and push that roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
All right. So just click the push button, and it should automatically give you a point of stress.
Okay. Okay, it sure did. Yep, there we go.
All right.
I bet that stress level was for me goofing off on it earlier and I pushed something.
Right on. So you should have currently 1 level of stress.
That is correct.
Okay. So
You kick it real hard and it works.
Mm-hmm.
Good old Raytheon reset.
Mhm.
good thing you rolled 2 successes, because that might give you a stunt. So if you look at the various skills, see if I can find that real quick.
For each extra success beyond, you get +1 modification to a later roll. You don't need to roll to overcome the exact same challenge in the future. You do it quickly in half the time. You break it permanently, you act quietly, you show off. It's on
I
page
see it.
64 of the
Yep, I see it. Cool.
you show off to nobody but yourself.
Or later.
Kind of like you break it permanently. That sounds funny.
Oh God.
So yeah, if you whichever one of those stunts you want to take, just make sure you take note, write it down somewhere on your scrap paper or Google Docs notes, however you want to keep track of these things.
I'm gonna do. You got this. You don't need to roll to overcome the exact same challenge in the future.
Beautiful.
GG.
So I want to come down here later and get fucking eaten.
Just noted as a crane sensor.
Okay.
I'll remember what that
Brain
means.
whisperer.
Shall make a subcategory called stunts. Cunning stunt.
Cunning stunt.
So you get pissed, you take that point of stress and just trigger the goddamn thing and you pop it open. And sure enough, it was dumb. The wire came loose again. You pull out a screwdriver, kind of wiggle it around in there, make it so it'll make a firm connection, plug it back in. And so the pilot up on the bridge, you see that kind of like steadily strobing warning light from the crane stop.
Nice. I always count on Bradshaw to probably reconnect a wire or some shit.
So one of you calls to the other through the intercom and it's fixed. Yeah, all good.
I'll sit down with Corky on the bridge. Have little Eugene on my lap, just petting him.
He's laying there
Kraus.
quietly, happily.
Crowd sleep go okay?
Yeah, for the most part. I really, really hate getting jerked around by the company.
Me too. Normally I love getting jerked around, but by the company.
They say sitting in comfortable seats. All right, hey, sure, doing all this hard work and getting screwed over.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, I know. It feels like we're always just. I mean, a job's a job, but I mean, like I said earlier, I don't like finding out when we get there. Wish I knew what we were picking up. Wish we knew why we had to jettison this very expensive raw material. Like
We don't have to, but they are. I mean, if we do this job, Aaron told me that they'll pay off half of the remaining cost of the ship.
$12,000.
Million.
Oh shit! Really? Right. I forgot. Sorry.
As Corky exclaims, Eugene kind of like looks at him and then hops down off your lap and kind of trots away.
Half the remaining balance. That's not insignificant.
No, it's not, but if they're willing to pay that much for this job,
It's got to be something fucked.
yeah.
And they're sending us to, oh man,
A methane planet
a methane planet,
that's defrosting. This could be bad.
a defrosting methane planet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they send the
Where the fuck ups go?
rejects.
Yeah. And are we the rejects? Like,
Seems like it.
Always has been.
Speak for yourself.
it's rejects all the way down.
Rejects
Well.
never say die.
You know, at worst, it'd be just to drop off me.
Worst.
Yeah, I don't think they'd keep you there.
I mean, dropping you up there would seem like the best outcome to me.
That's why I said at worst, you'd be dropping me off there.
But you're from corporate. You're supposed to make everything sound like it's a positive that we have to do for them. This seems fucked to you too, right?
Aren't we getting more money this way? They're paying for the cargo and half the ship?
Yeah. So they're paying that much.
It
Yeah,
must be really dangerous.
the
It
crew's
must be
getting
really-
more money. It's possible that it's just someone they want now. They can't wait. And
We were
we're
just to
the
close
only
the
ones
ship.
here. Exactly.
Let's hope so. Because I just don't want to die soon. I'm only 64. Got lots of life ahead of me.
Butch, as you're making your way back up from the cargo hold, making your way through, just kind of doing a routine check, looking over various gauges and making sure all the cargo that you have is secure. Make an observation roll.
Observation. Okay.
All right. As you're making your way through, checking the cargo, you hear like a very, very faint tapping noise momentarily. And like, what the And then you remember, you've heard that before. Eugene's hunting something. And sure enough, kind of barreling out in front of you, there's this explosion of activity as Eugene snaps up a large scorpion in its jaws and
Oh, Gene.
shakes it to pieces. And then drops it happily at your feet, sits and waggles his little sausage tail.
Good boy. Damn, where'd we pick up that nasty thing?
They were indigenous to Lina.
All right, I'll like get a glove and pick it up.
Yeah, it's dead and mangled.
Yeah, I don't want him chewing on it.
Maybe the scientist will want to take a look at it. She likes critters.
Sure.
So
All right,
you head
come on,
over to
Gene.
the med bay with your bagged up treat, your little doggy bag. And yep, you find the brainiacs hard at work doing whatever the hell it is that they do.
Doctor.
Right.
Found this for you. I just plump it on the desk in between them.
Oh.
Oh, what'd you do to it? Looks like you bit it.
Only thing I did was carry it. Gene did the hard work.
Is Eugene a clone?
You, Gene, the dog.
No, like, I'm asking Mother.
I don't think Mother's like Siri. I don't think you could just call her name.
No, like, out of character.
You can communicate with Mother through the intercom. You don't have to be like typing to her in the mainframe room. You can
No,
ask like, "Hey,
like-
mother."
Like Tripp asking, would having a real dog be like a super expense, or is it like
Oh.
Tyrell Corp made the dog?
No, dogs and cats are pretty common on the frontier for this express purpose. Like, obviously, you don't want to be moving different species to different planets. It's almost a necessity. You know, cats and dogs aboard ships has always been a thing for that express purpose of killing vermin.
But is it a real dog?
He's living, breathing. He's definitely not a robot.
What else?
No, not like a robot, like
I'm
a
real boy?
synthetic. Like, you know how like in Blade Runner they don't have like real pets?
Yeah.
I don't know. He seems real enough.
I didn't even think about Blade Runner.
I don't think I've ever seen Blade Runner.
Yeah, get you
Yeah,
caught up on the
yeah.
classics,
Yes,
my
and-
guy.
I'm not saying anything.
I would be really curious to know what movies Joey has seen.
I've seen a lot of movies. I like watching movies, like, but then it always comes up. You old fucks just bring up these cult classics, and I'm just like, I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Have you seen Poor Things?
Nope. Never even heard of it.
It's in theaters right now.
Oh.
It's really good.
I'll add Blade Runner. No, actually, I might have seen Blade Runner. I'll know as soon as I start watching it again.
Harrison Ford,
I know who that is.
he's in it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he plays a hard-boiled detective going after cyborg-looking people.
It's my favorite
If
way
you'd
to
seen it,
compare
you'd probably
detectives.
remember it. So you've almost certainly never seen it. It's a very memorable movie.
Oh, I'll
Sequel's
add it to
good
the
too.
media center.
Put
Sequel's
it on
good
the
too.
list, bud.
Yep, I'll add it to the media center.
All right, so Dr. Alice, you've been given a gift, a specimen. What do you want to do with it?
Study it.
All right, would you like to use your analysis talent?
Sure.
Okay. Make an observation roll. Ooh, very nice. Are you there, Libris? I think you had to go AFK for a second. All right, we'll come back to that. All right, so for every success that you rolled, you get to ask me one of the questions below. Some of them are kind of no-brainer, but it's on page 77 if you need reference.
Yeah, I have it in my thingy.
And if you can think of other questions that would kind of fit that same vein, I would probably allow it. Because like I said, some of those just don't really... You don't need to analyze whether it's human, you know what I mean? It's very
Yeah,
much
is it
not
human or alien? Mm,
It's alien.
it's not human.
Oh, okay. So looks like Libris's stress level gets to be removed.
Yep.
Mhm,
Did you get
mhm.
that,
Nice.
Libris?
No, I didn't. I had to pee.
Well,
You
your
can remove your
scientist...
stress because I analyzed the scorpion.
Yep. The analysis will relieve your stress.
Ooh.
Watching a scientist do their thing is truly a sight to behold. Modern marvels never cease. So, what questions would you like to
Extract some
ask?
scorpion venom.
Maybe. That's a different role.
What do I want to ask about this scorpion? How old is it? So how long do these scorpions live?
Based on its size and general composition, you know that these scorpions only live for about a year. And this one was very close to the end of its life. Like, it probably would have died of natural causes by the time you got to your destination.
Okay.
So if they live about a year, figure it's probably 11 months and change, roughly, in its life cycle.
It's an old scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to just let everyone think about the fact we're in cryo sleep and that fucker's been running around the ship.
Yes. My next line of questioning is, how did it get here, and does it have friends? Hey, look, you guys get, like, bait traps or anything like that? I can start setting them up in the vents. I don't want to, like, go down a maintenance tunnel and open up something to fix a wire and have a colony of fucking scorpions come falling on my face.
Well, you've
I
got
wouldn't want that either.
you've got one more question you can ask with your analysis because you rolled 2 successes.
Is it a male or a female scorpion?
It appears to be male.
It's impressive. That
So it didn't lay any
survived.
eggs, probably. On board. Did it invite friends, though? Hey, Eugene.
Eugene's gone back to the bridge.
We should see if he can sniff out anymore.
Also, as in general, Eugene's pretty independent, and there's been times where, like, you'll even look to find him and he just doesn't seem to be around. Chances are he's got his own little hideaway somewhere in the ship's vents or something that he likes to go to. But he always comes back. If you call him long enough, he'll show up.
I'm surprised it survived without life support on.
I think it was in cryo sleep. Oh no, the scorpion.
The scorpion.
Oh yeah, shit. Dang, you're right.
So, Captain, as you're going over the charts and looking at everything, ordinarily, the next thing to do is you've done your maintenance, you've cleaned up and eaten and all the routine things. Next thing is, course correction, that's already done. And then you're going to kind of make the call, do you go back into cryo sleep or not? So if you maintain speed and course, you should arrive at Ares Outpost in about 3 days. That's kind of too short. It's really not worth going into cryo sleep for 3 days.
All right.
Ultimately, you'd end up losing time, and this will be a good opportunity to do things that you might need to do. I'm obviously open to suggestions because I'm neither familiar with avionics nor trucking in an intimate way, but yeah,
I mean, I'm
maybe
sure
you
there's a list
gotta
of
shuffle
list
the
of things
cargo
that are-
around or something like that.
Sure, there's a list of things that need to be like cleaned or fixed.
Oh, sure, yeah. There's always something to do on board the ship.
Things that Butch wouldn't mind not doing for once.
Yeah, give him a hand on his daily stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, you did the best you could cleaning up while staying on schedule, but there's still a bunch of thorns around here and there, especially in the cargo deck that could get cleaned up, so
I would definitely go help Butch with that.
you'd very easily be able to find tasks and other things that would cover the next 3 days.
Yeah, I'm gonna start by cleaning my cryopod.
I'm pretty sure those things probably auto sterilize. I
I
assume.
don't trust the auto.
You, like, wet your
sterilization.
pants or something?
I don't know. I imagine I'm sleeping in like a, well, not sleeping, but you know what I mean. I'm in a
He was
confined.
crying.
Cubicle.
Yeah,
I wanna
Cry,
wipe
oh
away-
sleep.
I want to wipe away any existence of or any evidence of my, my crying. But I imagine I'm in like a tight box for like months and months at a time. Yeah, maybe it gets pretty funky in there.
All right. So, I think this would be a good spot for us to take our break, if that's cool with you guys.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So, as we're taking our break, just think of a few things that your characters might be doing over the next 3 days, mundane, routine kind of things. Scientists, if you want to run any kind of experiments. Doctor, same. Or if there's other organization or things you need to do, company agent, likewise. So just, think of a few ideas of things that you do to keep yourself busy over the next 3 days, even if it is just like, you know what, we worked hard on that last job, we're going to relax now. Or I'm going to catch up on some reading or, whatever it may be. Just something. All right, so another nice little surprise. I got some new music I'm working on. It's not quite finished yet, but it's close enough that I can play some tunes for you guys. So I will do that, and we will be back in about 10 minutes. So stick around. Right on. All right, so where we left off, you essentially made the decision that you're just going to stay up the next 3 days as you make your way to your new destination of Ares Outpost. So obviously you're going to do ship maintenance, normal things that you have to do. Of course, there's also going to be a good deal of downtime, so whether you want to spend that time constructively or, sometimes you just got to blow off some steam, play some cards, watch a movie. Smoke cigarettes and stare into the middle distance. I don't know, whatever.
Tug of war and fetch.
Yeah, I think today I'm gonna, for the first day, I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna go to my old, wherever the theater is, and I'll watch some movies, like maybe like Blade Runner, and the Alien movies. No, not those. That'd be two. Just I'll watch Blade Runner and
I think
whatever.
Blade
movie.
Runner's the same universe.
Oh, really? I'll
Not
watch Blade Runner.
yes and no. It depends on who you
Same
ask.
universe.
Yes, Predator is decidedly the same universe.
I'll watch that, and I'll watch. Let's see, season 3 of Drake and Josh. Why not?
Fair enough. Doctor, what are the two of you up to over the next 3 days?
We should develop an anti-venom with the scorpion, seeing that we have a possible infestation.
Sure. Yeah. Let me see what I want to have you guys roll for that. We'll do a single roll with one of you helping the other. So who's got the higher wits?
I've got a 5 in wits.
Or
All right. So Dr. Niles will be assisting Dr. Alice. So Alice, go ahead and make a wits roll, but with a +1 modifier when the little command box comes up. Ooh. Roll a d6. And Dr. Niles, roll a d6. All right. So, the two of you working together in unison on this project have managed to produce 6 doses of generic antivenom. So will this work on every type of venom? No, but it should at least, stabilize somebody, buy you some time until you can get them the actual antidote that they need.
As long as it works on these scorpions.
We'll call it Scorpid Antivenom. All right, what about you, Captain?
While I'm not helping Butch with his day-to-day cleaning and fixing of things, I will play fetch and tug of war and other random dog-friendly activities.
Very good.
Because my boy has been cooped up in the cryopod with me too long.
Yeah, he needs some good roughhousing. He needs some good horseplay.
Maybe give him a bath.
All right. Agent Aaron.
She would go through and prep her clothing that has been in storage and things like that for looking like a corporate agent, aka what the crew would say, douchebag. Rest of the time, she'd make sure her various things are in order, like she has her letter of corporate authorization. She's got her data transmitter card and everything with that. And spend some time thinking. She's got those 2 tiny items that are always in like the inner pocket, and she'll just toy with those and spend some time thinking. Otherwise, she'll help clean up, do some random things like clean the galley that no one wants to do. So
Yeah, nobody wants to do the dishes.
she'll.
All right. Roll. All right. What about you, Butch?
Oh, fixing up the ship. And when I'm not doing that, I'll be smoking cigarettes in the boys' room and reading books and dirty magazines.
Okay. Do one more observation roll for me.
Okay.
If there's any more critters around, you're certainly not seeing them. You've moved a few boxes. You don't see any signs of vermin. Usually they leave some kind of trace, whether it's doop or pee or, signs that they've dug through wooden containers, shit like that.
Yeah.
And you check on the state of the lumber and everything looks fine.
Okay. Works for me.
Everything appears to be good. And, going through usual routine of tightening bolts and just the general day-to-day maintenance on a spacecraft of this size. Because, on the overlay, if you look in the bottom right corner, the reason why that camera box is there is Huck from our Wednesday game was initially going to join us, but unfortunately he decided that that'd probably be too much. And that's probably for the best given the weather that he's getting right now. So hopefully he's doing well. And I decided to just stick a picture of the... that's actually the Nostromo from the first Alien film. But even though yours is an updated model, like I said, a Mustang's still a Mustang. General size and shape and overall design of it remains mostly the same. So what's kind of hard to tell, or you might not be able to tell from that photo if you look closely, your ship does have landing gear essentially, and you're going to need to use it. Some places that you go, you'll be able to dock with like an orbital station where you'd pick stuff up from, but more often than not, you have to actually go down to the planet's surface. So the pilot, you'd probably spend some time looking over the specifics of where it is you're going to have to be landing to be prepared for that. It's a thick methane atmosphere, and it's been a while since you've piloted through those kind of conditions, but it's sort of like riding a bike. You don't think it will be necessarily difficult, though that depends largely on the weather. If there's storms raging when you get there, you might have to... You might think it prudent to delay slightly in order to let that pass, so that you're not risking the whole ship.
Okay, well, I'll study up on my methane and make preparations.
Very good. I don't think there's anything else.
Oh. At least this isn't a methamphetamine planet.
Go to your room.
All right. Looking over the galactic, readout of your position, we'll say that, you're basically on your third day of travel at this point, and you're about 2 hours out from your arrival. Is there anything specific that you would like to do to prepare?
I'm gonna stay focused, and I'm gonna thank Bradshaw and the captain for, work on the ship the past few days. I heard dice.
Agent Noble's in her suit and actually doesn't load the briefcase because briefcase can get lost. She'll have stuff on her.
Let's see.
Cam's got his gun on the hip.
Captain and Corky. Observation rolls. All right, so as you're kind of idling away the last hour, making your final preparations, Captain, Corky, you're both on the bridge, and you're just kind of discussing, you're a former pilot as well, right, Cap?
Yep.
Yeah, so you're kind of going over, almost like pop quiz for methane piloting. We'll say that it's a slippery atmosphere. I don't know if that's something that pilots use, but we'll go with it for the purposes of this game. When all of a sudden, Corky's mid-sentence, and out of the corner of your eye, you see something flash up on one of the screens and then quickly disappear.
What was it?
You didn't see it quickly enough. Well, you didn't see it. You had your back turned. So the captain was facing you speaking, and out of the corner of his eye, he saw something flash up on a screen and then quickly disappear.
Gotcha.
What's normally on that screen that flashed? If I...
That screen specifically would usually be to track other nearby objects. Could be craft, asteroids, just anything nearby. Like short-range scanners, basically.
Hey, Corky, do me a favor.
Yeah, what's up?
Can you see if there's anything around us? Something on that screen flashed for a second.
Yeah, sure. The item nearby us detector screen?
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw
okay.
something.
Huh. Beep boop beep boop beep boop boop bop, beep boop beep beep boop. No, I'll check around us.
You try to pull up that whatever that specific record was, and Mother interjects with access denied.
What the hell? It's not letting me access the record.
I'll try.
You use your captain's code,
Mm-hmm.
and Mother responds with, "Record not found."
Well, that's certainly not fucked.
I'm gonna go in the mainframe room and try.
Okay. Corky, make a wits roll. It's weird. You've never seen that happen before. At least not that
Fucking
you
strange.
can remember.
No, that's weird. See if you can find anything in the mainframe room.
You go into
On
the
it.
mainframe, the door seals behind you. What would you like to ask Mother?
Was the record deleted?
Reference for record not found. Make a wits roll. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have you both re-roll, but this time you're going to re-roll as Comtech. I'm sorry, that's what I should have called for initially.
Oh, okay.
I apologize.
Man, another
But
no
still,
sixes.
no luck. Yeah, Mother's not cooperating on this one. It could just be a bug, a glitch in the system.
I'm gonna call Aaron to the room, to the mainframe.
Yes.
So the screen that houses the information for detecting objects flashed for a second. But when I asked Mother about it, there's no record of it. I was wondering if you could see if you could find anything that I couldn't. You may have clearance that I don't.
All right, I'll try.
I'll
I'll need
leave
your
the
other-
room.
All right, corporate agent. What would you like to ask Mother?
She'll ask Mother if the item that popped up on the local scan, is it detrimental to this crew or the
Error. Record not found.
go through and give corporate access and try to get record?
Let's see. Roll manipulation.
Mother's freezing us out.
The screen kind of flashes a few times and then begins giving you like very crunchy numbers kind of information. So make a Comtech roll. You look over the numbers as they're kind of flashing up on the screen, and you're pretty good with computers. It's all very like lots of numbers and reference files and things like that. But essentially what you're able to determine is that Mother had detected some type of anomalous energy signature nearby, but it was so brief it was deemed to be a false reading, and thus the record was purged.
Identify energy signature.
Energy signature unknown.
Distance from. Yeah, distance from USCSS Verena to at initial contact.
0.13 parsecs at closest point.
How close?
That's not super close. Well within range for your short range scans, but realistically, it's not like it like buzzed you. You know what I mean? Whatever it was.
Got it. Okay. So unless it's like insanely fast, it's not going to jump on our asses. Last bit she'll try is to heading of anomalous signature at closest point to Verena.
Let's see. I gotta roll for mother. Calculating. And then gives you a readout of information. I'm not going to make you roll contact again. I'd say this is related to the previous roll. If it maintained course, like if it was following the same path, it would intersect with yours at Ares Outpost.
Okay, so it was essentially heading towards Ares Outpost is what she can get.
Right.
Okay, cool. Just like every good corporate agent, she'll thank Mother and log the fuck.
All right.
She'll head out the room. Or just pull the captain in here. That way he can find out, and she'll give him that whole lowdown. There wasn't any point where Mother said to not tell anyone. So she specifically didn't ask how to define the information, and Mother didn't say. And she'll tell the captain that and give him all the information.
So a random unknown energy signature.
That's going to intersect with us at Ares Outpost, which means it's just heading for Ares Outpost.
Mm-hmm.
But it couldn't define the energy signature, so who the fuck knows what it was? Shit, I should have asked how quickly it was traveling, but I don't know if it knew or not.
All right, appreciate it. He'll go back to the bridge. Tell Corky to keep his eyes out for anything weird.
Why? What'd you find out anything?
Yeah, but not really. Some weird energy signature that doesn't mean anything, but
could
if
mean
it's-
everything.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, keep
So,
an eye out.
Landing might be interesting.
It always is.
Just keep an eye on your sensors.
Well, I got to keep eyes, ears,
Mm-hmm.
mouth, nose on my senses. Did you know humans in total have 6 senses? 5 senses. Shit, I'm thinking of the movie.
Okay, I was about to ask you what the 6th one was.
That
I
wasn't
see
even
dead
Corky making a
people.
joke. That wasn't even Corky making a joke. That was just a joke.
There's more than that.
My 6th or even 7th sense.
I suppose that brings up an interesting question. Like, would pilots necessarily be superstitious? Like, just writ large, as in general? Like, ship's captains are, right? So, kind of the same idea.
I've met a few military pilots and they were very religious. I don't know if you'd call that superstitious.
Well, that's
Sure,
a
they're
discussion for another time.
I'm sure they got a routine that they do over and over, like a baseball player.
Yeah, pre-flight checklist.
Right, or like football
No,
players,
but I mean-
baseball players. They have rituals and superstitions that they do.
Like they might step on the same steps the same way, weird stuff.
I mean, I bobble my bobblehead every time before we fly.
Right. It's all a matter of degrees, right? Like, not every superstition is this wild, crazy thing, right? Sometimes it's like a lucky coin or something like that. All right. So, Corky, the agent, and the captain are up in the bridge. So, I would like an observation roll from Buck. Or, sorry, Butch. Have I been calling you
Butch.
Buck this whole
That's like
time? I'm
Buck.
sorry.
Uncle Buck.
His name is Buck, and he likes to truck.
That fucking movie, man.
And among the doctors, who's got the better observation?
Is it wits plus whatever the number is in the observation?
Correct.
7.
She does.
All right, so Alice, roll observation with a +1. You've got your nose buried in your experiments. You're analyzing and reanalyzing the venom. Doctor, you're busy organizing drugs, whatever it is doctors do in their spare time. You're playing golf.
Drugs.
Wii golf.
Drags.
Playing Space Invaders.
But Butch, while all this was happening up on the bridge, about the same time that you don't know this, obviously, this is meta information, but for clarification, while this was happening up on the bridge, around the same time that they got that anomalous energy signature detected, you could have swore you heard like a deep hum just kind of vibrate through the cargo hold. And maybe it's that you're in such a large chamber that you were able to hear it more quickly. But like very low frequency, almost mechanical hum, but the way it swelled doesn't make you feel like it was mechanical at all. Like, it very much rose and then steadily fell in pitch. Or
right,
volume,
sort of
sorry,
like-
not pitch.
Yeah, so vibrato and not tremolo. Or
Right.
the other way around. I get them mixed up.
So do I. Every time.
Yeah, the reason you do is because when they first came out with them, they put them on Fender amps, and they were the wrong way around.
Yeah.
And then, like, a decade later, they switched into what they were, so I can never keep them straight. Alright, so Butch he's leaning against the wall, smoking a cigarette, like reading a book, and then he looks up, hears that sound, completely quiet for a few seconds, and he hears I'm assuming he doesn't hear it again.
You don't.
Alright, he exhales and goes back to reading his book.
Alright.
Yeah, his book. Yeah.
Alright. Last hour goes by. Everybody's ready to get to work and get that payday. That payday.
Gotta secure the bag.
I don't know why Nightbot's doing that. I deleted a bunch of old Nightbot commands and now it's broken. I don't know. I'll fix it.
Stupid robot.
I'll fix it later.
Oh,
We should kill every robot we see, right, guys?
No.
Oh, maybe. Every robot?
down.
Yeah.
Bots.
Butlerian
Yep.
Jihad is coming.
Oh,
Are you guys ready?
sorry. Sidetrack real quick. Did you guys see the popcorn buckets for Dune?
Yep.
It's
No.
so stupid and horrible and ridiculous that I want it.
Yeah, I might
It
go see
doesn't
this
make
weekend,
any
actually.
sense. I love it.
What the fuck is that?
I'm waiting for them to release a popcorn bucket that's the Gom Jabbar. That'll be a real experience.
There you
Oh
go.
my god. Why is this like that?
It's one of those dumb things that's gonna be worth a fortune someday. It's like they'll just so many of them will end up in landfills and.
Mm-hmm. I love microplastics in my popcorn. It's my favorite topic.
Yeah. Yum.
Well, and like, aren't the little flappy bits that are supposed to be the teeth on the inside? Aren't they just gonna get covered with synthetic butter?
Yep.
And salt.
Do you pour the butter through that, like when you put the butter on the popcorn? Because you're just
Surely
gonna have
that
a
lid comes off.
butter up to
Surely.
your wrist.
Oh,
Oh,
that lid has to come
But
off.
the question is, do those teeth, are they supposed to move like rubber? And then all I can imagine are these rubber phalanges grazing your hand every time you
It's gonna
go to
grab
the
your
popcorn,
forearm.
like running
Yeah, I just
the
hope they're
gauntlet.
sharp as needles, like a saw trap.
It's like running the gauntlet with a fucking horror.
it's very
Yeah,
hentai.
I think
You're gonna
that's
go to
just-
pull your handful of popcorn out, and it's just gonna like knock all the popcorn out. Your hand.
It's gonna be flicking it like 3 rows away, just
Yeah.
flicking everywhere. I know,
I'm
it's
pretty sure
so
it's the
dumb
topper, though,
that
that
I
comes
want
off.
it.
Someone's probably already fucked one.
Oh, without a doubt.
Rule 34.
That was part of the R&D.
Like, it's one of those rare corporate gems that, like, how did it make it through so many like design
They knew what they were doing.
It should just
Yeah,
be Zendaya's
probably.
face, and you have to reach into her mouth to get the popcorn.
Ooh, nice.
Once again, rule 30.
Yep.
All right.
Well, you guys ready to land on this fart planet?
Yeah, what's the protocol? I can never keep this straight. Am I supposed to be in a suit? Like, where do I sit?
Being very familiar with the protocol on that, I would tell him what the protocol is.
Sure.
You should be wearing a suit.
Yeah, you should
Okay.
be suited up.
All right, I got my suit on, and I'll go sit in the fucking coach class or whatever it is.
No, you sit with us, right?
Yeah, everybody's got to be strapped in for planetary entry protocol.
Yeah.
And just
But he's
good
not like-
sense. You don't want to be getting thrown all over the goddamn place by
Yeah.
turbulence and break your fucking neck.
What kind of suit are we talking about? Like a?
The samurai spacesuit.
Birthday
Okay.
suit.
I was thinking. I was like, what are they talking about? Like a 3-piece?
No, like a spacesuit.
Yep.
Nah, it's
I
a
put on
birthday
my
suit.
Those spacesuits that look like they weigh 8,000 fucking pounds.
yeah.
Yep, the handy old style flashlights mounted on the side, like on the sides of the
the-
head.
It's the orange ones from Arrival.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
Everybody strapped in?
Yeah. I'll do a routine check of everybody secure. All
I will
right,
double
beginning.
check my
I think so.
straps to make sure.
Thumbs
Yeah,
up
make
from the
su-
captain.
Make sure you've got a strap on, and let's begin landing sequence.
All right.
Hands down, take this seriously. No, we can have a bit of fun. Okay, all right, fine, yeah.
No!
You can't put your hands up.
Oh,
You gotta control the damn ship.
I'm just kidding. I don't actually put my hands up. I'll pretend like go and then right back up.
But like, isn't it all just like autopilot and buttons?
No, I have an important job. My job is not Automated.
He's got to fly through the rings like Superman
Now-
64.
Now, Mother's a
God.
decent enough pilot, but you don't want to trust her to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, when you're
Yeah.
flying through deep space and she doesn't really have to maneuver, she can maintain speed and course easy enough. Make minor corrections here and there for anomalies, but you know,
This
she's not-
requires nuance.
yeah, she's not somebody you'd trust with the stick per se, because it's very much, you know, landing through different types of atmospheres. You really have to have a feel for it, because obviously they're gonna feel different densities and properties and things like that.
Yep.
So, Mother generally, as you arrive at a planet, will do kind of like a handshake with whatever is waiting on the surface, basically like almost like an air traffic control tower sort of thing, to help guide the ship into where it needs to be. And you immediately get error codes flashing saying handshake failed, handshake failed. For whatever reason, Mother's attempting to communicate with the, you know, satellite relay on the planet and is getting no response.
There's no response
Aaron
from the
will start
planet.
trying-
Sorry, what'd you say, Jules?
Oh, Aaron will just try to start run that, so the pilot doesn't have to worry about it.
Thank you.
See if we can't get a hang.
So,
It feels good to be back in the saddle again.
is this something that happens from time to time? Sure. Maybe they're having some kind of electrical issues on the planet. The communications array is down for whatever reason. It could be weather, but as you're looking through the various readouts on the planet, you're not seeing any storms in the area. In fact, it's perfectly clear skies where you're supposed to be meeting up with Ares Outpost.
Right. So a strange energy signal was detected coming straight for this planet. And now on approach, we're unable to receive communication from said planet.
I'm gonna
Wait.
put us in orbit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I'll do
check
that.
out the ship before we try to land.
Sounds like a good plan.
Do we have like a drop ship or something, or does the whole thing have to go down?
Your whole ship
this-
goes down.
Yeah. In this case, their whole ship's having to go down to the thawing out methane planet.
So, Tripp, to give you like a perspective, the ship that you're on now is like the Nostromo. A ship that would carry drop ships would be like the Sulaco from Aliens. And the Sulaco, I think, is like 3 times the size of your ship, something like that. It's essentially like a military battleship or aircraft carrier. It's like a capital ship. So those kind of large vessels would have drop ships, but you wouldn't be able to fit one on yours. You could fit like a tractor on.
I mean, we got the pods, but that's it. The escape pods.
And a power loader.
I'm gonna ask Mother to run a scan of the ship.
Scanning. All systems nominal.
I'd prefer if they were phenomenal. That's a funny one.
I'm gonna try to raise the station again.
You get the same error code. Handshake failed. Connection unable to establish.
Since it's a corporate, you fucked up location, would they have a backup method of communication, like a fucking wave radio?
You could sorry, you could attempt to contact the director directly. He would be the person in charge there, as far as company assets are concerned. But you could try and raise him directly on his terminal. But you'll have to take some time to like input the proper codes and essentially like look through your company directory to find his specific like PDAT address, basically his like IP address essentially.
How much trouble would Aaron be in for contacting him and nothing's wrong, blah blah blah?
Probably not much. I mean, you're trying to do things properly and make sure you don't crash into something, so it wouldn't be unheard of that you'd try to reach out.
Then she'll go ahead and start doing that and let the captain know.
While she's doing that, I'm gonna ask Butch if he can come into the mainframe room with me and see if he sees anything wrong with Mother.
Okay.
Since he's the handyman.
Well, computer science ain't my thing, but there's a loose wire or board or something, I guess I can shove it back in.
I mean, my Comtech isn't great.
Alright, dog. What do you want me to roll?
No roll required. There's not really much in the way that you can look at in Mother's chamber, so as far as you can tell, all the lights are lighting up and the screen and keyboard are in good shape, but as far as like if Mother's got errors in her code, that'd be well outside your expertise. But you don't see any physical damage to anything. You don't smell any of that like almost like tangy smell that like an electrical fire would signal or anything like that.
I just sort of shrug at the captain. Sorry.
Alright, appreciate it. I'm gonna sit down and log into Mother and see if she's got any errors or anything weird.
You pull up basically like a log file that gives you like the most recent error codes encountered, and so you see like the ones from the crane, the anomalous energy signature, and then just kind of like repeated attempts to establish communications with the planet and just failed, and it's continuing. Like Mother keeps attempting to recontact or make connection with the surface, and does so like every 30 seconds. Like she essentially sends a ping, comes back empty.
I'm gonna ask her, is the failure at the origin point or the end point?
So you're like, maintenance report on the communications array, basically.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we're actually sending out the handshake signal to the station and they're not responding, or are we not sending it, type of thing.
The signal's being sent successfully from your ship, it's just not pinging back. So
Okay.
very likely their whole communications are down.
Ironically, that's what I did in the military.
Oh, nice. You can help me through this then, because
like with handshakes, like I knew it when your modem made the noises. It wasn't actually, it was making noise, but it was a handshake. Like I knew what all that.
You could
meant.
always tell when it.
What'd you say? You cut off after when it.
Oh, you could always tell when it was a bad connection.
Yeah, your noises didn't sound the same. Okay, I'll go back out on the bridge and say, we're sending, they're just not picking it up.
Well, that's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to land on this planet.
I mean, there's no storm happening right now, so it should be smooth-ish sailing, and you should have good visibility. We'll wait
All
to see
right,
if Erin
yeah.
can contact anybody down there.
Yeah, if she can't contact anybody, then we'll just go in cautiously, but I've got a bad feeling about this.
All right, so Aaron, make a Comtech roll. Because you're essentially trying to establish a connection, basically between your personal data terminal, bypassing the ship entirely and just kind of just using the communications array to send your signal to the planet. So it takes some doing, but you are able to successfully do that. It's going to be text, though, so what text do you want to send? Because there's no microphone or anything like that. And you can type it out in the Roll20 if you want. Or in Discord if you want to keep it secret.
No, she'll ask the captain. Okay, I've got connection to the station commander or agent. What do we want to say? Is there anything in particular?
Ask them if they're having trouble with their communications array, and if we can actually land. If anything would prevent us from landing. If they answer and say there is nothing wrong with their communications array, kind of fill them in on what problem we're having.
And that's what she'll say. Mother unable to connect, handshake, and she'll include the error code from the ship. Is a ship of our size able to land, or were you affected by this? She's not going to say what signal. Hopefully, they'll figure it out.
You receive no immediate reply. Director could be asleep, he could be busy, he could be off dealing with other stuff, who knows?
Is there like a distress radio channel or something we could check?
Good question.
Just for point of reference, safe to assume this would be a good time to call a ship's meeting, Captain?
Yeah.
Okay. So you call everybody together, let everybody else in the crew, who weren't on the bridge, basically know what's happening, and what do you... Talk amongst yourselves, figure it out.
What do you guys think? Should we land, or should we try to get contact with somebody?
In the original message that we received saying we got to do this job, like how urgent did it seem? Like, do you think we'd be all right waiting like a day? Like, I'd feel more comfortable, honestly, waiting like a day.
Well, how do we know what we're supposed to pick up if we can't communicate with somebody?
That's a great point.
Like, are we going to need special equipment to pick it up? Is it
Yeah.
heavy? Is it radioactive? Like, what? Like,
If
Completely
we would
agree with
be
Bradshaw there.
unable to, yeah, if we would be unable to make contact through handshake, then through PDT, They would expect us to land and make visual confirmation. I just worry about that signal because it was going to intersect with us when we got to the outpost.
Can you
Yep.
call back to the company and get some kind of more information? I mean, even if you can't tell us, I'd rather somebody on the ship know what the
Yeah, or
hell's
at
going
least
on.
confirmation that it's safe for us to go ahead and land. Just any more information about this would be great. To get on the horn, please.
Yeah, she'll go ask the mother.
Use Mother to send a encrypted corporate message.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to keep secret? I mean, you can just tell me, or you can type it out if, you know.
She would go ahead and detail the signal that they found that was purged from the system very quickly, and that it was supposed to intersect with them when they landed at Ares Outpost. Now, you're not answering. Sort of thing. But, nice and corporate.
Right. In corpo speak, I get you. Just give me 1 minute to type this out. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm looking at you, Roughneck, for complaints. You're the complaint
I'm always
department.
full of complaints.
What's your number one complaint you got right now?
That got interrupted in our normal course of duties to do some emergency thing, and there's nobody around to help us with the emergency thing, and I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. It makes me incredibly nervous.
What if
I'm right there
there's
with
been
ya.
like a malfunction at the base and we have to a rescue mission?
Was that our responsibility? Like, we don't know that.
That's what I'm asking.
Didn't seem like that was it wasn't in the mission brief that we got the message. Just said we're picking something up.
Have you checked different, like normally unused communication channels, like radio?
Facts.
Yeah, fax.
Yeah, can we turn on a receiver and see if they're broadcasting some message?
Flip on a receiver, like, boop. Scanning for Blux waves.
I mean, wouldn't Mother tell us?
Sometimes Mother's a fucker. I don't know.
Well, there could be like an SOS signal on like some staticky radio.
Morse code.
Yeah. I'm also assuming radio is not normally used anymore.
No, radio's used all the time. That's not I don't think that's a technology that would go away. I mean, there's certainly more sophisticated means, but I mean, like, your ship's intercom is essentially a radio, right?
I mean, radio would just take a while. Radio's gonna only be as fast as the radio waves is gonna travel.
Well, yeah, I think that's fine for
Whatever.
Close.
a planet where you're
but not
right
for-
next to. Yeah.
Yeah, but not for sending back to Earth or anything like that.
Nope, you got your answer.
Is that something that would click like, oh, I know what that is.
Which one? The last part?
Until yeah.
It's very common that if you're moving things of that nature, that you don't know exactly what it is. It's just given a code name as, a point of reference.
Okay.
Like, the veterans among us can probably attest to this. Like, probably a lot during military missions, like certain part of cargo manifests are kept classified or recoded in different ways.
Everything's compartmentalized.
Right.
Yeah.
You only get told what you need to know.
Yeah, she will go ahead and attempt to memorize the list and
You can transfer it to your
sign off.
PDT.
Oh, perfect. She'll ask if there's a point of contact to speak to. Yeah, my father still has some of his more spicy orders. They're all fucking blacked out and shit, but found them so funny. And I have a feeling that's sort of common.
Just give me a second to type this out, because I'm going to type out exactly the message that you're getting, but I'm also going to tell you what that would mean to you.
Listening to him type is always so worrying. Okay. As long as I know what those protocols mean, alright.
You do, in fact. I gave you the basic lowdown of it. Obviously, there's more to it than that, but...
Yeah, she'll, sign off. Thank Mother. We praise thee. All that nonsense.
You thanked her after you signed off, so she didn't even hear it?
Dun dun dun.
She's always listening. This is...
It's true.
And then
Siri on
she'll go
steroids.
ahead and grab just the captain so it can talk real quick.
All right, I'll go with her.
The contact's going, once we're alone, let him know the contact's waiting to hand over Arthur per level 9 protocols. Basically, the station's head of security is going to hand over to you directly. I'm not involved in this at all. And then there's a bunch of other things. I brought it to my PDT. So I'll go.
Like, is this gonna fit in the cargo as we have it now, or are we gonna have to dump cargo? Do you have any idea?
No, this. Depending on how big a crate is, I think we'll be fine.
They say anything about the station not being able to respond to us?
Not a damn thing. The cargo manifest states it's 5,000 tons. How much tonnage do we have?
That's a great question.
You're currently carrying 15,000, which I think is half of your...
Okay, we should be good.
Yeah, you should have plenty of room.
So, do you think they're purposefully not replying because of the nature of the mission?
Potentially. That or that signal fuck.
You get a little...
Right.
Jules, you get a little ping on your PDT.
And apparently you all need to sign the now appended NDA that's been uploaded to your devices.
Do we all get a ping that like we've had a new document uploaded to our
You've got mail.
devices?
Yep.
You have to sign into DocuSign, and
Basically thumbprint sign.
I'll pull out
I'm gonna fucking. What's the amendment?
my
Yeah.
PDAT.
Let's find out how your legalese is. Let's see.
Do even I
Sorry, you cut out?
do I even get that ping to sign?
Your life is an NDA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone gets it. Everybody has to sign it. Yep. And if you're looking through the contract amendment, I need a wits roll.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely doing that. I sign it.
Yeah, I'll sign it too.
I'll sign it just because I want to get paid.
All right, so who succeeded? Aaron and Niles, correct?
The doctor, yeah.
They're always colluding, these fucking two.
No, it's the agent and one of the doctors.
Yeah, Dr. Niles, the medical doctor.
All right, so Dr. Niles, you're kind of just looking through it. You do see the part that was amended. Essentially, everything happening from this point until the point that you hand off these materials and essentially leave wherever that area is never happened. You're not allowed to speak about it. You're not allowed to disclose it to even family. The secret stays among the ship's crew. You know, and brings up various legal clauses and penalties for voiding the NDA, blah, 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 blah.
What's the harshest penalty?
Jail time.
Death.
Execution.
Well,
They
jail time
remove
on a
your
penal
foreskin
colony.
again.
Execution by methane gas.
None of what we're doing is happening. Sign it.
So, for the record, everybody signs, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's affirmative.
Yes.
Yes.
Affirmative.
A firm.
How quickly would you turn into an ice cube at minus 20 degrees Celsius?
Almost
Didn't you know that?
Oh,
instantaneously.
you have hours.
Well, at minus 20, it'd probably take a while, but minus 220.
Yeah, it's minus 220, not 20.
Did I not say minus 200?
No, you said 20. I think, right?
I thought I said
I heard
minus
20.
200.
Well, now I
Yeah.
don't know, so I'm probably the
Oh,
asshole. We'll
minus
go with
200.
that.
Minus 200 Celsius.
For us heathens, it's negative 364 Fahrenheit.
Cool.
Sweet. I just assumed
That's
fucking
very
cold.
cold.
Yeah.
Instant frostbite, and then your arm falls off.
You would turn into an ice cube very quickly.
All right, so
There's
what?
a disaster movie like that? Was it The Day After Tomorrow or
Yeah,
something?
Yeah.
With what's
Yeah,
his
the day
face?
after tomorrow.
Jake Gyllenhaal and
Yeah.
That other guy.
Dennis
Quaid.
Quaid.
yep.
Quaid, yeah. That was a good movie.
I couldn't
Was a
remember
good
which
movie.
Quaid. I know it wasn't Randy Quaid.
For the time, the CGI was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. Good old disaster films, back when they just seemed to come out every year.
Yeah, they were the hot thing
So-
for a
That's
minute.
The like recent blizzard or whatever Chicago had looked like it was straight out of The Day After Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's Buffalo every other winter.
Mm-hmm.
Probably parts of, I think, like, northern Montana gets hit pretty bad, like North Dakota. Alaska, obviously. Alright, so what do now, crew? You gonna buckle in and get on down there?
Yeah, I guess
I
it's
guess
time
so.
to land.
Yep.
I don't think I have much of a say in the matter, but you know.
Yeah.
Time for Corky to earn his pay.
Alright,
Yeah, this is why they pay me the bucks. Well,
looks like you're starting work early, Corky. Usually you'd just have Mother kind of guide you to the edge of the atmosphere, but without any reading, without the handshake from the surface, she can't possibly do that reliably, so you're gonna have to go in for a nice, gentle landing.
all right. Grab the joystick and the yoke and do what I need to do.
Alright. So as you make entry into the atmosphere, I have a little splash screen.
Oh, it smells terrible.
And make a piloting roll for me, please.
All right, Corky. This is what it's.
Don't
So
fuck
it's-
this up.
This is what it's all about.
No wonder you've been so busy. My goodness.
Ooh, very nice. Let me see. Do we get any cool stunts for piloting? Probably.
Do a barrel
Yep,
roll.
you
Is that-
do. Oh,
Let's
that's
see.
range combat. Yeah, you do.
Piloting stunts for each extra you roll. You can gain a +1 modification to a later skill roll relating to this one, or you show off.
I would rather have the +1.
Okay. So as you're navigating through this thick methane atmosphere, you're really paying attention to like how it feels. Is it haptic feedback that you're getting from the stick, and really getting a great feel for piloting in this kind of atmosphere. So you feel like you'll definitely have a bonus when you once again leave the atmosphere.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna assume that the captain is going to remain on the bridge. The
Yeah, I
Roughneck
will.
is probably gonna be closer to the cargo hold, so you can get out there and start moving stuff around quickly.
I mean, I gotta meet with the guy, don't I?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. I just need to know who's actually on the bridge when you enter the atmosphere.
Oh, I'm definitely on the bridge for that.
Okay.
I thought you meant when we land.
Yeah, once you've landed, you'll make your way down there.
I'm definitely looking at all kinds of screens and readouts.
All right, agent and
Tell me.
doctors, where would you be?
Can we be on the bridge?
How much?
If you'd
room?
like, yeah. There's plenty of seats you can strap into.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch through some kind of window.
Yes. Totally want to see us.
All right, so it looks like
I see it coming.
it looks like Butch is the only one doing any actual fucking work around here.
As
what else
usual.
is new?
Like usual.
Everybody
I mean,
else
I'm
is
captaining the
rubbernecking
shit
out.
out of this.
I mean, I'm piloting the shit out of this too.
All right. So then I'm gonna have each one of you on the bridge make observation rolls.
Oh, I love this part.
All right. So as you're piloting your way down, we will start with. You can roll one as well, Joey.
Okay, there's observation.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. You're piloting the ship. You're paying attention to getting everybody on the ground safely, and you're doing that just fine.
Nice.
So you're handling your business. Everybody else is looking out the windows. And we will start with Dr. Niles. So, Dr. Niles, you look out the window, and in the distance, like miles away, you can see the massive satellite dishes and antenna that comprise basically the planetary communications hub. And it's completely dark. Like, it just hangs almost black against the otherwise, like, light greenish blue sky of the atmosphere. Normally those things would be lit up with all kinds of indicator lights and warning lights so planes or aircraft don't crash into it and things like that, right? But it's completely dark. Looks like they don't have any power whatsoever. Moving on to the captain, you notice this as well, and your first thought turns to, the docking area where you're going to be landing. You do see the, spinning yellow lights that surround the landing platform where you're due to land. So, you know that the communications area doesn't have power, but as far as you know, the outpost does.
Got it. Seems to me that they cut it off on purpose.
Let's see. Dr. Amobird. You notice all these things as well, but as you're looking out the windows, you kind of take like a closer view. Something kind of catches you as off, and you see these very fine, like, black particles begin to kind of gather on the windshields, the viewports, if you will, of the ship, almost like ash or soot, which is very strange. Like, why is all this particulate matter here? It shouldn't be.
How strange.
And for our lovely corporate agent, you look down at the platform as well. You kind of have a sigh of relief as you see that it does have power. So the way it's laid out is there's essentially like a large open bowl that you're going to be landing the ship in. Once you've landed, there's kind of like a domed hatch, like double hatch, that will close over the top of the ship and then provide a solid airlock and protection from the elements. That landing area connects to a long hallway, which in turn connects to the docking station, which in turn connects to the actual outpost. So it's like you have to land, there's a short walk, and then that's where you got to go to pick up the stuff. Make sense? The weird thing is, you'd expect to see somebody around out there doing something, especially if the communications tower is down. You'd expect to see workers out there loading up materials to go and fix it. It's like a ghost town. You don't see anybody. But Corky
She'll
pilots
pull that
down
out.
very nice and smooth, perfect landing right into this very narrow opening, and then eases down. Perfect landing. Perfect.
Mwah. And I bobble my bobblehead 2 times. Thanks for getting me through this.
You're welcome.
Oh, God. Bobblehead.
All right. So
Oh,
whoever is
nice.
going to be making their way out to help move cargo would make their way to the cargo area. Maybe the agent, maybe the captain. Doctors and pilot, you'd probably generally stay on board, but it's up to you.
I'll go and help.
Okay.
Captain's orders.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does the captain have to say?
And Corky, I'm gonna need you to stay on the bridge. Just somebody's got to be our eyes and ears since nobody else seems to be around.
Aye, aye, Captain.
I'll have my PDAT on me.
All right, peep that.
I'm gonna look at the doctors and be like, if you want to come, feel free. If not, do what you do. And then Aaron, if you want to, I'm assuming you want to come with, so probably me, you, and Butch
Yeah, if
at the
I
very
can do it
least.
Faster.
All right. So Butch, the ship's landed. Captain's on the bridge giving orders, but you know generally what it is that you have to do. This isn't your first rodeo. You know kind of what the situation is. You're going to have to go out in a suit and manually close the hatch doors that'll close above the ship so that you can open up the airlock. Normally, this is something that would happen automated, but since the communications tower is down, basically the mother that controls the station doesn't know that your ship has landed, if that makes sense. And you're muted.
Okay. Then I'll make my way to either the airlock or the cargo hold, whichever way.
Yeah,
to exit.
you'd go down through the cargo lift that kind of it's like an elevator that comes out of the very bottom of the craft.
Mhm.
And for right now, you wouldn't need your power loader. You have your suit on. You're good to go.
Okay.
I'm going to suggest you take some like breathing apparatus in case, like, what if there's some kind of infection going on that's
Well, he's in
knocked out
a spacesuit.
Oh, I meant like everyone else. Let's go.
Okay.
I'll stay here on standby in case of emergency.
Okay. Well, if everything's peachy keen, I'll head on out.
Roll observation for me. As you're making your way up to the panel that, basically houses the, it's like a big switch that you'll have to pull, but it's currently locked. And as you're looking at it, you kind of like take a look down and you see something on the floor and you look close at it and it looks like blood. Not a lot, like a few drops maybe.
Okay. Like glance around if I see anything dangerous.
It's totally empty, except and silent outside of the sound of the ship behind you. It's doing ship things.
Okay. All right. Then
Purging
I'll,
ship from the engines, whatever. Standard
I'll get this
ship.
panel open then.
All right. Go ahead and make a heavy machinery roll with a +1 because you'll use your maintenance jack for that.
Okay. +1. There you
Ooh,
go.
nice. So yeah, very easily you undo the lock, flip the switch down, and the doors begin to close. They do, and then there's like a roar from vents all around you as the the area that you're in, it kind of like purges itself of the methane and introduces breathable atmosphere.
Cool.
Bright floodlights completely all around the circle, all around the ship, flicker into light and illuminate the whole area. And
right,
you
now that I
see
can-
the red light above the airlock shift to green.
Excellent. And now that there's lights on, I turn and look at that blood stain. Can I see where it's coming from?
I'll base this off your previous roll. To you, it looks like maybe somebody had like a nosebleed or busted their knuckle on something. It's really not a lot of blood. It's like 3 or 4 drops next to where this handle was. There's none on the wall or on the handle itself, so, I mean, you know, you're a roughneck, you live on Band-Aids, so it doesn't cause you any immediate alarm or anything. It's just, you know, for an otherwise pristine environment, it's out of place.
Alright then, I'll make my way back to the ship.
And there you find the captain, the agent, and whoever else is getting ready to go help get the gear. You can opt to leave your suit on, you can suit up, take the suit off. It's totally up to you guys. You don't need it to survive immediately.
I'm gonna go ahead and keep a spacesuit on.
Okay.
And the
works for
crappy
me.
ones from the ship, because I don't have a fancy one.
Alright, so you make your way back up into the ship. Everybody's suiting up. Or the people who are leaving the ship are suiting up. Orders, Captain.
Uranus.
I'm trying to figure out if I want to wear a suit or not.
One of the doctors is freaked out. I don't know why, so I'm gonna roll with it. And it's a methane planet.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear the suit just
He
in
had
case
things-
power goes out.
Yeah.
I'm going to have my sidearm on me.
Erin's going to purposely take her knife from her belt here and put it on the boot of her suit. That way she still has access to it.
Because you rolled shit hot on your last heavy machinery roll, I'm going to give you some gimme information related to the machinery that you see around you in this docking area. 2 things really become apparent by the time you've gotten everything kind of sorted. You're maybe making sure your power loader is all juiced up and ready to go in case you need it. And the first thing that stands out to you most is that occasionally the floodlights that are surrounding this whole area will sort of dim periodically. Like that, like they don't brown out quite, but it's like that momentary dim. You've seen that happen before. That usually happens when a place is running on like battery backup or emergency power. Secondly,
Alright, I'll mention that to the captain.
On this docking area that your ship is sitting on, you're basically on like a raised platform mechanical island in the methane ocean, right?
Yeah.
And there are what's the word I'm looking for? They're basically like a built-in propulsion / stabilization system to keep everything level. For some reason, those engines are just working constantly, and that's unusual. So could be this isn't quite super stable. It seems fine for now, but if something starts happening to those stabilization engines, you could fall right into the ocean.
Yeah, definitely mention that to the captain as well.
Alright, we need to get whatever we gotta get and get the hell out of here. Not a big fan of what's happening around here.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna make sure that the doctor, Dr. Niles, has a good connection to my watch, because my watch will display my vitals.
Testing.
Nice.
I accidentally took it home from work.
It's yours now. That's how that works.
I'm not giving him my watch. I'm just.
No, I was testing the walkie-talkie.
Yep. I've got my flashlight. Yep. It's just time to go try to find our cargo if we can. See if anybody's alive.
Here's hoping we can find the security chief real fast.
All right. So who's going in?
Me.
Roughneck,
I'm going.
Captain, anybody else?
I will go with us.
So the doctors and the pilot are staying on board. Everybody else is going?
Sounds right.
Or is one of the doctors going?
I don't know. How many people do you think we should send in?
Well, more hands make less work, but on the other hand, it's up to you.
We also don't want to leave nobody on the ship.
Corky will be there.
That's why I left a second in command.
One person with the doctorate should be there.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I think you should.
Why? Because it could be dangerous.
Yes.
All right, so Niles and Corky are staying. Everybody
Okay.
else is going. Got it.
Yeah.
And between you, you've got enough suits for everybody. I'm assuming Captain's ordering to suit everybody up,
Yeah.
just in case. Which is probably smart. I mean, worst case scenario, you sweat a little more, you're a little uncomfortable and itchy, big deal.
BC alternative. Power going out and not being able to breathe.
So, here's my next question. Are you keeping full suit on, or do you have, like, your helmet opened, like, visor up? Because it is breathable atmosphere in here now.
I'm going to keep my full suit on because the state of this place makes me very nervous.
Yeah.
Okay. So, basically what you've got in front of you is a large, circular airlock door. It's kind of double doors. It'll open in the center, open to the sides, and then long hallway, another set of doors at the end, and then you can even see from this point, because that hallway and everything at the other end is illuminated now. As you look through the kind of viewport window on the airlock, you can see that there's crates and items kind of stacked up there. It looks like they were either done or in the middle of getting all these goods ready for you. It doesn't look like 5,000 tons worth of stuff. There's probably some stuff that's not there, but it's a good chunk of it.
Okay, what exactly are we looking for here? What does the cargo look like?
If you want, I can just copy paste to
Yes. She lists it off for him and forwards the list to his.
picking up 30 barrels of antifreeze, 50 crates of carbon black, 6 tanks of liquid methane fuel, 6 tanks of liquid hydrogen, 20 spools of high voltage power cable, 24 crates of fertilizer, 12 units of high yield fertilizer concentrate, and then 7 classified units named Arthur, George, Gilgamesh, Perseus, Odysseus, Beowulf, and Abraham.
Bro, you know what those ingredients sound like they're for?
A bomb.
Yeah, they're gonna go. These are just highly effective.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Would I know that those look like crappy explosive making device type ingredients?
I'll leave that up to your interpretation, because I'll be completely frank with you. These are all just things that would come from methane as a resource. Like, these are just things that you would be able to produce with. I'm not surprised that many of them would be components and explosives, but I didn't know that, so.
Just give me a sawdust timer and we're gonna.
Mm-hmm. Some styrofoam and you can make frickin' napalm.
Egg
All
whites
right,
work better, but you didn't hear that from me.
Well, it's the ammonium nitrate in the fertilizer that I'm concerned about. All right, so do I start moving them? Because I need to get the power loader for a lot of this stuff.
Check
Yeah.
it for tech.
How much of the stuff is actually there and how much is not?
You'll have to go and see. You can't really tell from this distance. You can kind of just see, like, sort of the tops of barrels and a few crates.
I would say go get the power loader and follow us in.
All right, keep a record, see what else we need, and I head back to the ship to get in the power loader.
All right. Everybody else going through the airlock down the long hallway?
Yep.
All right.
Mm.
Door opens. Walk down the long hallway. It's silent except for the sounds of machinery and your own footsteps on, like, the great metal. You know, it's kind of more of a gangplank than a hallway, but make your way to the end. Open up the doors, and inside there's a little bit of, like, smoky haze kind of floats out into the now open hallway. You look up and you see that there's a bit of white smoke in this enclosed area that was kind of just hovering. You look around. You can all make observation rolls for those of you who are there.
You know, for as shitty as I am in observation, I'm actually kind of
Yeah, you're
impressed.
rolling shit hot. All right. So, as you're looking around, you notice a few things that are immediately just kind of off or out of place. First, where's the head of security? He should be meeting you here with the thing that needs to be handed over. This is extreme on their part. This is a big fuck up. Like, you shouldn't have to wait around for this thing. You should be able to get whatever this item is and then go back on your ship where you can keep it secure. Also, the crane that's kind of mounted, it's part of this whole area that they use to move cargo in and out of the station. It's got a busted hydraulic hose, so kind of the far end from where you came in has a pretty sizable pool of hydraulic fluid, all over the walls and everything. It looks like the hydraulic hose busted or sprang like a small leak, started just spraying all over the place. And the smoke is unusual. As it kind of dissipates out into the hallway, it does clear. It doesn't seem like it's necessarily coming from anywhere. It just got trapped in here. But by the time Butch gets back with his power loader, you've taken a look at what's piled up basically outside of the cargo airlock. And this is what you find. Three barrels of antifreeze, 6 crates of fertilizer, a liquid methane fuel tank, 6 tanks of liquid hydrogen, 3 spools of high voltage power cable, 12 units of high yield fertilizer concentrate, and 6 of the 7 items that are classified. Missing is Arthur, which was the one that was supposed to be handed off by the head of security, who is nowhere to be found.
So we are missing 27 barrels of antifreeze.
Yeah, we're essentially missing 90% of it.
If you'd like, I'm going to put a break in the text, because I was a nice guy and made you a list for what you do have to look for. So that second list underneath the break is what's missing. The carbon black, 27 barrels of antifreeze, 5 tanks of liquid methane fuel, 18 crates of fertilizer, a whole bunch of high voltage power cable, and of course, the most important, Arthur.
All right, I'll go ahead and start taking the stuff that we do have back.
Yeah,
Is
and
everything okay?
Captain, Agent, I'm not going to make your roll for this. It would be obvious. Arthur is by far the most, and as well as the other 6, are the most critical cargo to get moved. The rest of it, the company probably could give a shit. They're just throwing it in because they can. You know what I mean? It's really that classified stuff they want to get moved.
I'm going to tell Butch to get the classified stuff on first.
Okay, all this named garbage?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I pick it up, and I move it into the ship.
What size are the containers for the classified one?
They completely range in size. The largest is Gilgamesh, and that one is about 12 feet long and 4 feet high and about 5 feet wide.
Wow,
So,
it's like a full-on fucking cargo container.
Yeah, massive. The rest of them are at least half the size smaller. And they vary in size, shape, and weight.
All right, I'll Tetris these things into the cargo bay then.
Yeah, some of them could even be lifted by hand and just moved that way. They're not particularly heavy, most of them. In fact, as you kind of move them around, like, you can almost tell, like, it's one of those situations where there's probably way too much packing material or insulation or whatever the case may be, and they're all completely black and sealed with bright red tape, just, like, completely wrapped around it. Security
do
tape.
not break seal.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay.
Guess
Hey,
we should
Captain,
find the
how's it
other.
going?
It's going. We got some of the stuff, but we're gonna have to search around for the rest of the cargo.
Do you know what it is yet?
A bunch of explosive stuff. Is a methane planet. Then our super special cargo, which no, I don't know what it is.
Roger, roger.
Is there anything else in the cargo bay, or just the stuff that they stacked up for us? Is there anything like tucked away in the back, or?
There's not a whole lot of room here to hide anything, unless they unscrewed deck plates and hid it under there for some reason. It ain't there.
Guess we gotta move further in.
Yeah, they're... I don't know. This is awful convenient on this place being blacked out like this. And suddenly one of these units is missing.
Either he never got it here, or... Well... I'll just leave that there.
So, Butch, as you're
Somebody
starting
came and
to,
took
like,
it.
kind of take a look around, figure out how you're gonna screw this particular pig, gauging what you're going to grab first and where you're going to end up putting it. You're shuffling around in your power suit, just looking around. And you kind of glance up at the crane and see like the hydraulic hose. It's not like a routine mechanical failure of a hose. Like usually when a hose fails, it'll split or something like that. Or it'll be rubbing on something. This hose was cut. Somebody cut this like with a sharp instrument.
Well, son of a bitch. And it's like too high up for me to like get to it, right?
No. Well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to climb up there in the power loader, but you could walk your way out to like where the cut end is.
All right, that's good to know for future if we need to just use the.
And if you decide that you want to patch it, because if the more stuff is inside, you're definitely going to want the crane to move it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll move this classified stuff for now, and then I'll consider patching that crane.
All right. So what are the rest of you doing?
I guess I'm looking for another room so we can go deeper in and try to find the rest of the cargo.
Well, the only way to go deeper in is to go down. So all this cargo is kind of piled up around a large airlock door fitted into the floor. So ordinarily the way this would go is that'll open up to like an elevator platform and then lower you into the station. That's kind of how cargo comes in and out of the actual research station. Where you are right now is like a docking hub.
There's no map on the wall or anything?
No map, but there is a data terminal next to where the crane is.
I'm going to try to jack into that with my PDAT.
Okay. Make a Comtech roll. I'll give you a +1 for the PDAT. Immediately as your PDAT links up with the mother interface, you're just getting like cascading error codes and system failures. Something happened here. It flashes by like way too fast for you to like really make heads or tails of it. But maybe if you sent it to somebody back on the ship, they could take a closer look.
I'm going to ask the doctor if she can make anything of it before I send it back to the ship.
All right. Comtech roll from the doctor. Again, it's like a lot of just cascading, repeating error codes over and over and over and over again. Can't make heads or tails of it.
I'll look to Erin and kind of see if she wants to try it.
I feel so wanted and needed. Give me.
Okay. It takes you a few minutes to kind of parse through this information. But what you're able to put together is that there was some type of explosive incident that happened on one of the lower levels of the station. From that point down is just gone. It either got destroyed in the explosion or completely severed from the station itself and now lies at the bottom of the methane ocean. Secondly, as you're looking through to try and figure out exactly what precipitated this, there's almost a suspicious blank area in the error codes where it looks like, if you're looking at how routinely these error codes show up, it's like clockwork, like every 2 seconds or so, and then there's a gap of about a minute and a half before it starts again. So that could have been just Mother rebooting after this catastrophic incident, or it could mean that somebody went in and got rid of those error codes, those records. The only way to know for sure is to get your hands on the actual magnetic tape backup that wouldn't be able to be easily manipulated.
Yeah, I'll tell him that. No reason not to. Do we know how many levels was lost and how many levels are here? Like how many remain?
Let me just double check so I know I'm not talking shit. The lowest 3 levels are gone. The 5 above that remain, which includes the nuclear reactor, which is why you still have some power, but the reactor is currently shut down. So basically, like, the whole station's just running on a massive battery backup. You've got approximately 12 hours before that runs out. Which consequently means when that power runs out, so does the power running those stabilizing motors on the ship platform.
Game over,
You're going to want to be out of here well before then. And keep any, power consumption to a minimum. If you're tapping into this system's power, try to keep that interference, at an absolute minimum.
I am going to ask Aaron, can we ignore all the other cargo except for Arthur? Will you sign off on that?
Yeah, we'll just grab some of the stuff that's up here when he's grabbing that, if we're gonna check for anything, and we'll just be like, that was the available cargo.
Alright, we'll go see if we can find Arthur and then get the hell out of here.
Alright, so you've got your PDAT linked up, and you go to open the cargo bay door. Well, cargo airlock would be a better term. There's some kind of mechanical failure preventing it from opening. You get error code, error code, error code.
Is there a manual?
There is a maintenance tunnel that you can open manually. Get down there and see if you can fix the problem.
I will attempt that. I'll pull out my flashlight and I'll turn the one on my helmet on, and if I can't crawl down there and see what the holdup is.
Does it look like it was purposely damaged?
What specifically was purposely damaged?
Like that door opening, is it just throwing an error code at us and that's it?
There's nothing you can see from the outside that looks like anybody stuck a shiv in it or jammed it somehow from the outside. Probably just some kind of damage occurred on the inside, the interior gears and what have you. Maybe something fell out of alignment. It's just not able to open. Alright, you open up the maintenance hatch. It opens easily, and you see a short ladder leading down into the, the interior of this cargo elevator, basically.
I'll start my way down.
Alright, you climb down the ladder, and you have a high beam flashlight, it's called, right?
Yep, I do.
Okay. So you climb down the ladder, you look down this, very cramped, short hallway, and you can see that it kind of opens up into the elevator shaft itself. It's very dark in there, because obviously the airlock door above you is closed, and you can tell that there's a good distance down to the bottom of the shaft. From your perspective, you can almost kind of see where the inside of the door is above you, but then underneath, you don't see a floor or anything like that. You have to move to the edge and look over.
I'll move toward the edge, but not too close, and give a peek around.
Okay. as you look down and kind of scan around with your flashlight, just peering over the edge, you have earned yourself a point of stress.
Yay.
Because you scanning over with your flashlight, and all of a sudden you kind of bullseye down at the very bottom where this cargo elevator is. It's in its lowest position, so it's level with the floor, and it's got like the 4 emergency lights or like caution yellow lights that are like old school cop car lights. It's like a spinning mirror basically.
Mm-hmm.
Those are still dimly illuminated, like kind of casting light around the very bottom of this shaft. And what you see is just an absolute scene of carnage. Bodies just mangled and sprawled out in various states of violent dismemberment. But the good news is, like, the scene shocks you. You see all these mangled body parts lying everywhere. And it takes you a moment, you realize that they're synthetics. They're all synthetics that have just kind of been mangled and beaten apart. And one of these synthetics is kind of impaled through the lower abdomen on one of these, stalks that has the emergency lights on the elevator. And the light itself is kind of coated with that white synthetic blood residue. And as your flashlight kind of shines over it, it kind of jerks upward suddenly and reaches its arms up towards you and lets out this horrifying... And I think that'd be a good spot to call it a session.
Nice.
That was a nice screech.
Yeah, dude, the inhale scream is always a nice one.
Fuck this. I'm out.
Awesome.
Should have made you go.
Oh shit.
I think everybody's gonna have their turn in the fucking torture nexus that we're about to go into.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of stress to go around. Don't worry. This will be fun. You guys are having fun now.
Yeah. We're just sitting on top of a gigantic nuclear bomb about to go off.
Yeah, it'll be fine. You're gonna be fine.
I'll be able to get
only
away.
half- Yeah, you're in this pilot seat. You and Tripp. You
So
guys-
I think I did pretty good for my first foray. Granted, we haven't gotten into anything necessarily too complicated yet.
No, it's good. When you're doing a new system, it's always good to sort of like play pretty close to the chest.
Yeah, for sure. But I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did as well. Our next session for this will be on the 18th, if everybody is good for that, because I need to be off next week. It's Scarlett's grandfather's birthday, so we're going to go see him for that.
Cool.
So you get a week off to worry
To
and ponder and think
I'm
about
not
what
gonna
you've
worry.
done.
I got a gun.
Oh yeah, guns famously useful in the Alien universe. Yes.
I mean, for a screeching ass dude impaled on a pole, yeah, I'll put
That's a
him out of
good
his
point.
misery.
I don't think have I ever seen a synthetic get shot in a movie. I don't
The
think
first time for everything.
iRobot? I think in iRobot. That movie.
I
with Will
did not
Smith.
moit at him.
so. I'm talking about Aliens universe because I
Oh, okay.
I don't know how bulletproof they. I have played Alien Isolation, but I don't know if that game's.
I don't.
canon.
I think it is. Because I don't see any mention of a
I mean-
maintenance jack before that. So I think they
Yeah.
took that from that game.
In Aliens, Bishop cut himself with a knife.
Yeah, doing the knife game.
So
I assume they're mostly human, like weakness wise.
Yeah, I just want to know if do they have like metal skeletons that are like bulletproof? Or
No,
are they
they're
just,
all
like,
like carbon
inflated sacks of goop?
fibers, and yeah, they're basically as weak to damage as humans are, but with the caveat of like a human being requires a lot of pieces to function properly. A synthetic really doesn't. So like it's a lot harder to take out a synthetic like permanently as opposed to just like disable one.
Yeah.
But like they're kind of subject to the same damage rules that you are. It's just they can take so much more of it before they're finally dead, you could say. Even if one's incapacitated, like unconscious, like you could still bring it back.
I don't like their weird, like, milky white blood.
Oh, and this place is coated in it.
Gross.
Dripping.
Gross.
Drippings with white goo.
Like, they can still work if they're a severed head. Like, the head can...
Yeah. That's where all, like, the primary... Like, you'd have to destroy the head like a zombie, right? And even then, I think there's been cases where, like, the head gets knocked almost completely off, but they're still going.
Yeah, because they have, like, their power plant is somewhere in their body or
I
whatever.
think the hard and fast rule is whatever makes the most cinematic sense.
Cool. Works for me.
But yeah, that was a great
That's great.
session. I'm glad you guys had fun. And we'll pick it up next time. So we'll go through, do favorite things and shout outs as usual, and we'll start with Tripp.
My favorite part is the inhaling scream. Those are always fun. It's very thing-like.
Or pod people.
Yeah.
Right on. Frobot.
Favorite thing. I don't know. Probably the gory ass scene at the end.
Right on.
Nasty synthetics.
Yuck. What about you, Jules?
Really? You think synthetics are net?
I mean, when they're
That's okay.
destroyed.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. I love that it wasn't a jump scare. It was just a scare, and man, the puzzles in this are gonna get me, and you know that.
Don't worry, you've got the puzzle master.
Yep. Speaking of
Oh, yeah,
which,
you don't- if you don't know Jules, we rely on ammo for like every puzzle.
I think they rely on her too much.
yeah.
Probably, yeah.
So next Call of Cthulhu game, I'm gonna find a way to disable your character. You other chuds are gonna have to figure out the puzzle.
Well,
The crutch. You're
Chuds.
using ammo as a crutch.
that's true. Yeah.
All right, Crutch
Not
coming
wrong.
in clutch. What do you have to say, Ammo?
My favorite part is creepy cryptic message telling us to divert and pick up classified stuff and jettison our shit. That always is not a good sign. And just the varying sizes of whatever it is. I'm interested to know what lies within these containers,
Ooh.
especially Gilgamesh.
You bust
I don't
into
want to
one?
know. I don't want to know at all.
Oh, I also really like that the one that's missing's name is Arthur.
I had written that before you came up with the name, so I was like, all right. Libris, what about you?
Oh boy. I'd say the general atmosphere of landing on a weird methane gas giant planet.
Right on.
Yeah, I just enjoyed all the description. I felt like I was able to picture it perfectly. Kind of like Camino in the Star Wars prequels, except really shitty.
Yeah, much colder.
I don't know why, and it's probably not accurate. My brain wants to think it's all green.
Yep.
Well,
completely green.
it'll-
It looks like a fucking
Yellowy green.
set from Necromunda. That's what I imagine.
Yeah, frozen methane has a slight yellow-green tint to it, according to my reading. Because I looked all this shit up. Like the goods that would be produced at a...
Yeah.
Station
all
on a
just
methane plant.
Googling frozen farts.
Yep. I got one in a jar.
Yeah, I'm picturing like bright, like neon, vibrant emerald green, like green screen green, like
Mhm.
very green.
Well, hey, the universe is
Probably not
just as
100%
beautiful as it
accurate, but-
is deadly, so...
There'd probably be like a super chlorophyll type thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like a whole plant matter planet.
All right, Joey, close us out, sir.
So as the pilot of the group, my favorite part was the fact that I was able to land the ship safely on the first, the first piloting thing that I had to do went well, and I didn't fuck it up.
Awesome.
Kind
Yeah.
of would have been funny the
Are
other
you gonna be
way.
our Annie?
It would have been funny the other way, but sometimes, the funniest way isn't the best way.
That's true. All right, so like I said, our next session will be in 2 weeks on the 18th, so hope to see you guys there. We should be good to go for D&D this Wednesday, as far as I know. Though, of course, that's subject to illness, weather, etc. I'll let you guys know in Discord if anything changes, but hope to see you guys there too. And with that, we will get on out of here. So have a good night, everybody.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.